to you. You brought me here, a place where I could find myself in you. I won't back down, freedom is what I choose. No more fear, cause I have found my happiness in you.
Champion Sports Network. We are live on a beautiful Friday night for football. I'm Adam Ferguson, joined by my broadcast partner, Tim Roberts. Tim, how are we doing tonight?
Doing great. We mentioned it last week. Almost felt like fall last week. I'd say it feels like fall this week. A little bit of a chill in the air and a great in-district matchup tonight between Midlothian Heritage and Waxahachie Life.
And you really can't ask for a better night to play Friday night high school football. But to tell you a little bit more about that, let's go to local weatherman. I'm sorry, let me fix that. Local legend, Ellis County weatherman Kevin Crouch. Kevin, down to you.
Thanks, Adam. As you can see behind me here on the satellite imagery, there's not a cloud in the sky over Mustangs Stadium, and it's going to stay clear for the duration of the game. A kickoff tonight is going to be a little bit chilly in the mid-60s, and it's really going to cool down in the mid-50s by the time you're driving home tonight. So just keep that in mind as the game heats up. The temperatures are going to cool down. If you want to know more about the forecast for this weekend and the upcoming week, head over to Facebook. Just look for Ellis County Weather. Back to you guys in the stadium.
Thanks, Kevin, and like he said, a beautiful night for high school football. I also love weathermen and their puns, the "Are you serious?" shirt. You just love to see it, just having a great time.
I can't say I usually relate too much to weather-related puns, mainly because I don't usually know what the words mean. So I know rain, sleet, and snow. That's about where my weather limits hit.
Well, we are due for an entertaining game tonight, to say the least. We have the first place Midlothian Heritage Jaguars coming to Waxahachie. Not a far drive, maybe 25 minutes maybe down 287.
Yes, now, because they're doing some construction. Usually 10-15, 25 now thanks to construction.
They come in at 6-2 on the season. First place in the conference at 2-0, and then of course the Waxahachie Life Mustangs coming in at 2-4 overall, and then 1-1 in conference. So early on in the conference season, but a big game nonetheless.
A big game, especially for Waxahachie Life, who had a big win last week. Big defensive struggle with a backup quarterback in. They pulled out a big homecoming win.
Yes.
And that got them to even. Now they have a chance to go get the upset and move above 500 inside the district. That would be huge.
A little bit of a weird weekend last weekend for the Jaguars. Walk us through what happened, because it looks like, if you look at their schedule, it looks like they came away with 2 wins last week.
Heritage is going to go down as having received 2 wins on October 9th. That's because in District 6, Brownwood, unfortunately, we know the circumstances we're in, they were forced to cancel 2 weeks of football because of some positive tests. The district met and basically said, we don't really have time to reschedule, and we really can't just cancel those games because of schedule integrity, so they were forced to forfeit their game against Heritage.
Yep.
They get on the forum and just start calling everybody. They find Mesquite Poteet out in Mesquite, Texas.
Yep.
They say, you want to play a football game tonight? Literally, that's how it was. Mesquite Poteet's a 5A school.
Yep.
Come driving into Midlothian. Midlothian gets the big 49-33 win. So they get 2 wins on one Friday night, 1 in district and 1 out of district against a 5A school.
And that is a big win against Poteet. That's gotta feel. I know it's out of conference. It's very short preparation time, but you have to feel good if you're the Jags with that win over Poteet.
It shows that you can punch a bit above your weight class, and
Yep.
that makes you the favorites within this district right now.
Absolutely. We did some math before the game, and if you take that 2-point game into factor, the Jags average around 23 points a game, and it was looking like it was going to be a close game, but then we did a little bit of correct math and figured out you can't count those 2 points in the forfeit, so they average about 36.5 points of game due the Jaguars. So a high-powered offense led by the dynamite duo in the backfield of Dalen Rader and Cullen Stone, quarterback, running back, respectively, both very good. We're going to talk about them as the game progresses because, believe me, there is a lot to talk about when it comes to that duo.
Absolutely. Rader is a dual-threat quarterback, and he will be showing a lot of what he can do here tonight. And so for Life, it's going to come to some of their big playmakers to try to keep them in this game. And obviously one guy that had a big game last week as the playmaker was Detria McCoy. And so we'll be watching him very closely tonight.
Led also by quarterback Colby Gramella, as we are keeping a close eye on the coin toss. It looks like Midlow won, and they are choosing to receive
Little
the opening kick.
throwback move. That's the traditional move. Almost we see a lot of deferring now, but I guess when you're the high-powered offense, if you want to go get a 7-0 lead early and just make a backup quarterback. I don't want to call Gramella a backup quarterback anymore. He got to win. You're not a backup anymore.
No, you're not. Absolutely not. You got to be thrilled with what he did last week against Alvarado, getting the win. But we're going to go throw live to the field for the national anthem and then, of course, kickoff right here on the Champion Sports Network.
Thank you. Please remain standing as the Mustang Band performs our national anthem under the direction of Anthony Gaddy.
There you have it, the national anthem as we get ready for kickoff. Want to give a quick thank you to our sponsor tonight on the Champion Sports Network, Southwestern Assemblies of God University, local college here in Waxahachie, better known around town as SAGU, our sponsor tonight for the Champion Sports Network. Before we went to the break in the national anthem, we were saying the throwback of the electing to receive the kickoff by the Jaguars. I'm a big defense first kind of guy. I like to see you come out and set the tone on defense, but I guess the Jaguars are feeling pretty confident on offense, and for good reason.
Yeah, they have a great offense. Like I said, you have an offense that is going to keep the clock moving because they are a run-first offense when you look at that quarterback-running back duo back there, a dual-threat quarterback who runs for almost as many yards as his running back does, and that's just, if the clock's going to move a lot, you want to have as many chances as you have to get possessions, and by getting the first possession, you're guaranteed to at least stay one ahead for the most part.
Quarterback Dalen Rader rushes for about 8 yards a carry, which is very good, especially from a quarterback who's viewed as a dual threat. And then Colin Stone, his primary partner in the backfield, just about 6.5 yards a carry, which for running back, that's hard to stop. That's a first down every 2 plays if you put the ball in his hands.
There's going to be a lot of work to know.
Oh, surprise onside kick. Can they recover?
They got it.
They did get it. Wow.
They got it.
What a way to start this game. So we just said that Midlothian Heritage wanted to receive the kickoff, and the Mustangs with the surprise onside kick executed perfectly by Kennedy Hartman.
That was Pat McAfee would smile at that one.
Shades
of
Sean Payton in the Super Bowl with the surprise onside.
Coming out of the gun, and the Jaguars just did not see it coming. We barely saw it coming until
I was ready for a kickoff, and then we got hit with that. So you got a great start here for life as Gramella lines up with McCoy in the backfield. He's going to hand it off. McCoy had a big game last week on homecoming. On first down is stopped for a loss by a host of Jaguar defenders.
Yeah, it's hard to tell you who even got in there first, but they did a great job of winning the up-front battle.
Number 3, McCoy on the run.
And he just met, like I said, a host of Jaguars. The initial hit seemed to be Scott Ellis coming in there.
So it will be 2nd and 11 here for the Mustangs. 3 out wide to the right for Gramella. McCoy in the backfield. Pistol formation here. Life.
I like the gamble from the Mustangs. You know you're underdogs tonight, so just come out swinging. And you send a message early on to the Jaguars of, hey, we're coming here to win. We're not going to roll over. We're going to try everything we can to get this win tonight.
Gramella swings it out quick. That's going to be a backwards pass. He gets it into in the hands of his man on the outside, but cannot do anything with it. He found Kendall Barnes, and he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. It's going to be 2nd and 11.
Yeah,
or 3rd and 11, rather.
Yeah, that sailed on Gramella a little bit, forced Barnes to turn around, lost his momentum, and he's lucky he got it. 'Cause like you said, that was a backwards pass. That would have been a fumble otherwise, and now a big 3rd down to try to capitalize off of the early gamble.
3rd and long. Gramella back to pass. Clean pocket. He gets it off down to the sideline. He's got Barnes. Barnes brings it in down at the 20-yard line. What a throw by Gramella on 3rd and long.
And I think Barnes had lost this ball in the lights. If you look right here, he's pointing. He's saying, I want it, and only at the last second realizes that it's coming. You see right here, he has to react at the last second. And Gramella, who did such a great job of throwing those leading passes down the field, drops that one into the breadbasket, converts a huge 3rd and 11 down to the 19-yard line.
They're going to move it back to the 20.
Back to the 20.
Can't have too much progress there.
Still the red zone.
And you are right. The Mustangs enter the red zone for the first time tonight on their first possession on the beautifully executed wheel route there between Barnes and Gramella, putting the ball right on the money, and a huge gain on 3rd down. As they are under 10 on the play clock, Gramella has the play. 3 bunched out wide to his right. Takes a snap. He is back to pass. Gets the ball across the middle. Has his man for a short gain, but a good job to stand up to the pressure that was coming up the middle for a minimal gain, but he gets it to Dwyer across the middle for a gain of 1.5 yards, maybe 2. Make it 2nd and 8 or 2nd and 9.
Was a great job of hanging on to that quick pass with a hard hit. You just wish you got more yards out of it.
We were talking pregame. This is one of the things that the Mustangs want to do, is control the pace of this game. And they often do look to the sidelines for play. Here's McCoy up the middle, trying to spin off a man. He falls forward for a gain of, we'll call it maybe 1. It's going to be 3rd and 7.
Yeah, they'll give him around 2. He had some good lead blocking up front, but all credit right there to D'Angelo Freeman, who fought his way through the block, got some hands around the waist, and kept that from going for too much more damage, and brings up a 3rd and mid at the 17-yard line.
Here is Gramella. He is back to pass. Looking across the middle, doesn't have a man, and it's batted down, incomplete. It will be 4th down. Was looking for Chris Gillespie across the middle.
And that was a little bit in danger of being intercepted.
Yep.
Gillespie came up a little bit short, and there was plenty of guys there. And now they will trot Hartman onto the field to try to get some points off of this.
Hartman, who had a good game last week, hit a 48-yarder.
Hit a 48-yarder that was what you almost might call the game clincher. It helped put life up by 2 scores and kept them there. This will be a 34-yarder to try to give them the early lead.
Here's the snap. The hold is down. The kick is up, and it's blocked. And Hartman has it fall into his lap. And that will be a turnover on downs, if you want to call it that, a missed field goal regardless for the Mustangs. And after the surprise onside kick, they come away with no points with very good field position.
And it looks like an initial analysis looks like it might have been D'Angelo Freeman. Again, he had the tackle coming in to get his hand on it. Looks like there was 2 Jaguars in the area. Hard to tell from that angle exactly who got it. So a big stand by the Jaguars after the surprise onside, and you got to be kicking yourself if you're the Mustangs to not walk away with points there.
They will take over. The Jags will on the 20-yard line, and we get the first look at Dalen Rader, who's going to keep it himself. He's rolling out to his right to pass. Down the middle of the field, he's got a man wide open past the 40, and then out of bounds, finds his man, Hayden Wigington.
And that's just a standard 3-stage route. You got a guy short, got a guy middle, you got a guy long. The defense can't hold up forever and just finds the one guy who fell into that pocket in the middle for a gain of 22.
And expect this Jaguars offense to run most efficiently when they get Rader in motion. Here is Rader, 3 out wide to his left. Sends Stone in motion. He's going to hand it off to Stone around that right side. Tries to lower the shoulder, but is upended. And a good open field tackle there by DeQuire.
Draylon DeQuire does a good job of just staying at home, staying patient. That's what you got to do against a team that's averaging 7-8 yards a run when they have their two big guys going. Just stay patient. Don't overcommit to anything. Stay in your lane. Let them come to you. Make a good tackle. Gain of 4 as they are approaching midfield.
2nd and 6 here for the Jaguars offense. Raider takes a snap. He throws it to the outside. It's brought in and caught for a short gain on the sideline.
Another gain of 4, and DeQuire is again on site. Really good coverage here.
Wigginton with the reception.
Stayed with his man the whole time and forced him out of bounds very quickly. And now a 3rd and 2. And this is where having that dual rushing threat really comes in handy. You just don't know where the ball's going to go on this play.
Raider hands it off to Stone. Stone bounces it to the outside, cuts it back outside, down past the 45 and driven out of bounds just shy of the 40, but it will be enough for a first down, and the Jaguars move the chains, and there you said it. You have to account for Raider.
And Raider, look at Raider. He just completely freezes up Sharwan Daniels. He's looking down the whole way, refuses to let the ball loose until the last possible second, and he knows because if he can hold off Daniels, he's got the first down in there. And if Daniels happens to bite on the running back, he just takes a step around him and goes for the first down.
Raider swings it out wide to his left, screen pass. Down past the sideline, down past the 30. Pushed out of bounds, finds his man Carter Wilkerson. And he has enough for a first down. New set of downs, 1st and 10, turns into another 1st and 10 here for the Jags.
And Kendall Barnes is lucky to get this shove in right here that gets him out of bounds.
Just barely.
Because otherwise that was going for a touchdown, as there was some very good initial blocking up front for that bubble screen.
Raider back to pass. Slings it across the middle, gets it to his man, and he's brought down after a good gain on first down. It's going to be 2nd and 1. He finds Wigginton, seems to be his favorite target here early, and why not? He's found himself open on every single target.
And that was a very tight route from Wigginton. He just plants that foot, takes a step to the left, and he's open.
2nd and 1 here on offense for the Jags. You can almost do anything you want here with the ball on 2nd and short as Colton Kyle goes in motion. Raiders going to keep it, tries to cut it upfield, but is brought down. That's a good tackle in the backfield by this Mustangs defense.
Jamal Whitman seemed to be the one who got back there to trip him up, but there was 4 different Mustangs, and they've got some heavy hitters. When they get into the backfield, they can really wreak some havoc. We saw it do it a lot last week, just getting in the backfield. If they get pushed back, they're kind of on their heels. But if they can get that initial push, they are very dangerous, and that brings up another 3rd and 2.
Raider hands it off to Miller. Miller bounces it to the outside, brought down from behind, and then a helmet-to-helmet contact there at the end of the run, but ultimately no gain. It will be 4th down.
That was a great job of corralling them. You got 3 Mustangs, and eventually with the tackle is going to be Kendrick Green, and very little hesitation from Heritage here.
Oh, none at all.
They're going for it.
No hesitation at all.
But
4th and 2.
2 big stops in a row by this defense.
I should call it 4th and 1 here on 4th. Here's Raider. Takes a snap. He's going to keep it himself up the middle. He has the first down and carries a couple of defenders for a few more yards. And they will move the chains, will the Jags. And you can just kind of feel them methodically here, having their way on offense.
Yeah, and right there he's planning on following the running back to the outside, but then he sees the hole open inside, takes a quick left, gets through it. And yeah, it's just too difficult to try to make 3 consecutive short yardage stops. It was a great job to get the first 2, but it's tough when you hold it to a 2 or 3 yard gain. You feel like that should be a victory, but for that, in that situation, it was just enough for the first down.
Here's Raider to the outside, looking to cut it upfield, and he just had forever to run there, and he's going to have a good gain there on first down. It's going to make it another 2nd and short here for the Jaguars.
That's the threat of a dual threat quarterback, is that you're pursuing him. You need guys to crash, but they can't crash quite yet until he crosses the line of scrimmage, and by that point he has a full head of steam, and it's a 7 yard gain.
2nd and 3 here for the Jaguars. good mix of rushing and passing here on this first drive.
Yeah, they've been showing a lot of different looks. Obviously, that read option is going to be a go-to all night, though.
Here's Rader. He's back to pass, has a man across the middle. It's Wilkinson, and he's brought down at the 1 yard line. I'm sorry, Wigginton is brought down at the 1 yard line.
Ball pops loose, but they're going to rule that the ground caused it and that he had possession.
They're actually going to call him down at the 2 yard line.
Another great crossing route over the middle for the first down as we have a life player down in the end zone.
An injury timeout here for Waxahachie Life. And take a look at this play. It's just a good ball by Rader, a good pickup block on that outside by Miller.
That was very good because otherwise it looked like DeQuire was going to have a shot to at least disrupt the throw, maybe not get the sack.
And that's such an underrated aspect of any running back play that I think can separate a good running back from a great running back is the ability to step up and offer some pass protection.
And that's Kendall Barnes leaving the field, looking fine under his own power. Good to see after he went down in the end zone. The ball is, I would say, just outside the shadow of the 1 yard line. So they are looking at a 1st and goal. 4 chances to punch it in here. Definitely not the situation you want to be in if you're the Life defense to try to make 4 consecutive stops right here.
You got to think they're going to go for it on 4th down. If it gets to that point, you got to think the Jags want to walk away with 7 points here on offense.
Under 4.5 to play already here as this drive started at the 20 yard line. It's gotten 79 yards. It needs to go 1 more for the Jaguars.
Here is Rader. Has Miller with him in the backfield. A little bit of an audible here by the senior quarterback. Hands it off to Miller. Miller falling forward, gets maybe half a yard, if that. But that's a good stop there on 1st down.
Yeah, another great stand by this defense. And laying a big hit right there coming in from the side. Sharwan Daniels again. They slowed up the running back long enough for him to be able to hop in, lower the shoulder, and just lay a pretty solid hit for no gain. You like the fight you're seeing so far. You just keep on getting situations where there's a lot of downs.
Rader sends a man in motion. He's going to touch pass to him. Can he get in the end zone? He cannot. He's brought down for no gain. So 2 really good stands here on 1st and 2nd down by this Mustangs defense. A little touch pass to Wigginton.
And Gillespie is going to be the one this time who just comes in and another solid hit. Life has some heavy hitters. We've seen some bone-crushing hits this season so far. The defense has some real heavy hitters. What they make up for in not being the biggest guys is just pure ferocity.
3rd down, Rader keeps it himself, and he is in for the touchdown. And that will be the first points on the board of the evening for the Jaguars. They will go up 6-0 and barring the extra point up 7-0 here early in this one in the 1st quarter.
And that's just a direct QB draw. You just trust that your bodies up front are going to win enough that you're going to find something. And it's not that challenging when you only pick up 1 yard.
On to kick is Duggins, and it is up and it is good. So that will make this a 7-0 game here in the 1st quarter with 3 minutes and change left to play. And that is a very efficient first drive. You see Rader 6 of 6, perfect on that drive, passing for 56 yards, and then he gets that rushing touchdown. And Wigginton was the receiver of 5 out of those 6 passes for 43 yards. A little over 8.5 a catch for Wigginton. And then Stone, who didn't quite get going there on that first drive. We expect that to change as this game goes on, but a word that sums up that drive for Heritage would be efficient.
Yeah, they did a good job, especially of getting yards on early downs, 7 yards, 8 yards, 9 yards, where you put yourself in a situation where even when Life makes 2 or 3 big stops in a row, or I guess 2 stops in a row on 2 different circumstances, one where you get it on 4th down, one when you get it on 3rd and goal, it's just asking too much to say you're going to actually stop them from picking up 1 yard 3 times in a row.
And just what it must be like for that Jaguars offense to, on the first 2 downs, get stuffed, and then on the 3rd one say, among us, which one of us will get this touchdown? Yeah. And then Rader just takes it into his own hands.
Yeah, and it shows a lot of persistence to be able to go back to the well like that and say, no, this is going to work for us. We trust in our system.
No surprise onside kick here. It is fielded inside the 5-yard line by McCoy. McCoy's wrapped up and brought down inside his own 15. They're going to mark him right at the 15, so tough field position here for the Mustangs.
McCoy trying to make a play here, was almost able to break loose for at least a few more yards.
Tough situation. You field it inside the 5. You don't want to take a chance of it taking a funky bounce.
Exactly.
It's tough.
That is a perfect kickoff in a way, because you don't want to let it, like you said, don't want to let it bounce. Maybe you get a 25. As right here, he's going to break loose and just hanging on to the shoestring.
Hanging on to the shoe. But here comes this.
D'Angelo Freeman with the tackle, we'll call it.
Here comes the Mustangs offense. Gurmella is going to hand it off to McCoy. McCoy up the middle, carrying a couple of defenders with him. That's a good first down carry there for 5 yards for McCoy, making it 2nd and mid.
Because it was the opposite story for Life on their first drive. They were facing 3rd and mid, 3rd and longs. So they need to win some early downs right here to not be forced into those 3rd and long situations and always be trying for the big play in the big situation. Kind of a different setup here. They're going very heavy in the backfield.
We do not see that often from this Mustangs offense. They will hand it off to McCoy up the middle, and he is stuffed. They're going to call it a gain of 1, but it sure looked very short from up here. It's going to be 3rd and 4 here for the Mustangs.
Another situation where this is all about the trenches, and there was just nowhere to go. That might be one of those times that you want to actually try to bust it out to the outside, but then you run the risk of losing 2 or 3 yards. But there wasn't even so much as a crevice to sneak through.
Met by Big Ben Eskins right there in the middle. 3rd and 4 here for the Mustangs. Fakes the handoff. He's rolling out to his right, has a man in the flat, and he brings it in. That is Fuller, and he takes it down past the 35, right at the 35 for a first down for this Mustangs offense.
Gurmella with another very nice 3rd down pass. Just some nice touch there. I've been really impressed with his way, just hitting the receivers where they want to catch the ball, leading them, hitting them in the chest. He has shown some excellent awareness as a quarterback and converts a 2nd, 3rd down for this game up to the 35-yard line.
Gurmella hands it off to McCoy. McCoy cuts it up the middle and is brought down after a short gain there on 1st down. They're going to call it a gain of 3, make it 2nd and 7.
And McCoy's a guy that wants to operate in space, so when he's not finding it, that's where he's most deadly, where he can do some cuts, make some hurdles. But if he's getting bumped like that right at the line of scrimmage, he's not going to be able to break loose. It's incumbent upon the offensive line to create a hole or two for him to really inflict the damage that we've seen him do in the past.
I'm going to say it was actually a gain of 2, 2nd and 8 here for this Mustangs offense. They hand it off to McCoy again. McCoy met at the original line of scrimmage and then brought down. It looks like for a loss, but they're not moving it back at all. It's going to be 3rd and 8. Initial contact again by Eskins there, number 94 in the middle.
And Freeman's going to be the one to just hang on, getting blocked while he grabs around the waist and pulls him down. They're going to give him, call it a yard, and bring up a 3rd and 7.
Gurmella.
Almost got the Jaguars to jump there.
Gurmella with an H-back and Fuller, fullback to his left, and then McCoy behind him.
They can't quite run the quarter out, so they do need to have a snap here.
Here is Gurmella. He's back to pass. He's looking deep, looking for his man.
Oh, and
the jersey tuck, and there is the flag. I was waiting for it. You said, and it was clear as day, a yank on the jersey.
I was getting a little nervous there because there was the jersey stretched a good foot, I would say. You'll see clearly there.
He almost helped him. He almost overran that ball.
It is true. It still was almost a completion. So we'll wait on the official call of what will be the last play of the quarter. And it will be pass interference. So a big gain, another big 3rd down conversion for the Mustangs. They've been doing a good job of keeping the ball moving.
Well, in high school, of course, it's not a spot foul. It is a 15-yard penalty, but it's still a good chunk of yards there on 3rd and 7.
And credit to a good route and another good pass.
And he was open. He may have saved a touchdown.
Yep, that was a very well-thrown ball. If it weren't for the pass interference, throwing his torque off, I think he catches that. And, yeah, he could have been gone. So
you never want to see a pass interference there, but Derwin Sneed, the defensive back, he may have just saved this game, still being 7-0. Because if Gillespie gets his hands on that, he could be gone. He is fast.
I feel like if you're Life, you got to be happy with that first quarter. For one reason, you only let the Jaguars have one possession.
Yep.
You took the ball first. You took some time off. You unfortunately didn't get any points. But now here you are, second quarter, one drive apiece, essentially. You haven't finished this drive. So that's how you want to stay in this game. You don't let the Jaguars start putting up big leads by getting a lot of possessions. And even though you didn't get any points on that first drive, you flipped that possession mathematics. Because you will now get the first possession of the second half. The Jaguars will not have that advantage. There will be negative one possession for the rest of the game, barring, turnovers, but even those count as possessions.
Yep.
So they have essentially lost a possession now. So Life with some of the formula for pulling an upset right now.
1st and 10 here for the Mustangs. They will hand it off to McCoy. McCoy tries to bounce it to the outside, makes one man miss, lowers the shoulder, but is upended. A good tackle there on the outside by Carter Wilkerson. They're going to call it a gain of 1, making it 2nd and 9.
That's a lot of running for 1 yard.
It's not a lot. We saw a lot of room for him last week, and it's just not there this week.
Yeah, the Jaguars do a much better job of quickly stretching the field. So that's one of the situations where you want to see McCoy. He's hitting the corners. He's got that room to get his momentum. He's trying to make hurdles. He throws a nice stiff arm, but there was just too many Jaguars. Even if he made it over that guy, there was somebody else waiting for him.
Gramella hands it off to McCoy. McCoy lowers the shoulder but is brought down again for a short gain. They'll call this one a gain of 2. They're going to make it 3rd and 7.
Pretty much the same situation here. Not a whole lot of wins up front and immediately filling the gap. Number 33, Noah Gray. There was a gap there, but Gray filled it in an instant and easily won that battle. Another 3rd and mid now for Gramella. He's converted a couple of these.
They look back to the sideline to get their play.
And they've been showing a lot of different formations, pistol formation now. So they've been showing some different looks for the Jaguars to think about.
Gramella back to pass. He pumps, trying to look for the double move, and he is brought down hard on the sack. Travis Buckley breaks through, does not fall for that double move.
Yeah, that needs to happen a little bit quicker, especially with how quickly they were crashing. The problem is you really can't fool a defensive line. They're going to keep coming for you no matter what. That's just fool the safety. That play needs to execute a little bit faster. So a promising drive dies out just inside of the Jaguar side of the field, and they'll be punting from the 50-yard line.
Hartman on the punt. He did a good job of punting last week. There is a flag on the play, so we'll see what that is. It bounces right around the 24-yard line, and it is...
That's in the area of maybe a hold on the actual offensive line.
It was a quick flag. I'm not sure if it's an illegal formation, but we'll see here.
Referees discussing, and I think that's probably going to be a hold on the offensive line. I guess it's still the offensive line if you're punting, right?
Yeah.
The special teams line. They're probably discussing now whether to tack it on at the end of the run or re-punt.
Long discussion here about the flag.
Got to get all 4 refs' inputs.
It may be going against the Jaguars here. He's pointing that direction. I'm not sure.
Still no indication at all. Both coaches out on the field. So maybe they are discussing, maybe it is a 5-yard penalty. I'm trying to see right here, because actually there's no holding now that I look at it.
Here's the call by the official. He's getting ready to make it here. Illegal formation on the receiving team, and it is declined by Coach Stanley. Interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen an illegal formation on a receiving team.
I'm not sure what that would be in a special teams punting circumstance of what an illegal formation would look like. I guess the discussion was coach was obviously trying to get the 5 yards tacked on at the end of the run back to the 15, but they were saying that they can't do that in this circumstance is what I imagine the discussion was, and he decided it probably wasn't worth re-punting and risking something else. Since you had a decent punt there, so.
Well, the ball was down inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah.
right at the 19, maybe 18-yard line. So I think Coach Stanley wants to take his yardage instead of risking a punt going through the back of the end zone.
Yeah, back to the back of the end zone or risking a return. So a lot of discussion, no movement. So here we are, 1st and 10 for the Jaguars, up 7-0.
Here is Rader with Miller in the backfield with him. He fakes the handoff. He's back to pass. He's going to take a shot deep. Looking for his man. It's broken up. A good play there defensively. One-on-one coverage. Kendall Barnes on Hayden Wigginton.
And Wigginton's going to be one that has to play defense by the end because Barnes does a great job. He stayed with this route right from the gun. Comes up inside, tips it. And then it's Wigginton who's going to have to kind of pull him down to make sure there's no interception.
That's a really good play. You love to see a cornerback on an island being able to make a play like that.
Especially against a receiver that we've seen run some really great routes in this game already. So you know that's not just easy as trotting next to him. He has some great release off the line of scrimmage. So that was an excellent defensive play to bring up 2nd and 10 and no yardage on first down. That's what was so successful about the Jaguars in the last drive.
Raider hands it off up to Miller. Miller has a huge hole. He's down past the 40, down past the 50. It's a foot race. Makes a cut back at the 40, makes a man miss, makes another man miss, and he's brought down past the 40, just past that 35-yard line. They're going to mark him out of bounds at the 34. Huge run there by the big back, Latrey Miller.
And it starts with this gaping hole up the middle, and it's going to be Chris Gillespie that actually saves this touchdown. You'll see him just turn on the jets. He's going to pass him up and force him back behind everybody else. But a huge run on 2nd and 10.
Here's Rader. He's going to keep it himself. Designed quarterback run up the middle. And he's hit hard but falls forward for a good gain there on first down, making it 2nd and 1.
Yeah, if you're life, you don't want to start losing this battle right here. Just easy turning the flank without much of a problem. So you had a big open hole on the last play, and then right there they turn your right end, and that was easy 9 yards. As the Jaguars now are kind of falling into exactly what they want to do. And you see why they average 8 yards a run.
Oh, yeah.
You do some big runs like that flips the averages in a hurry.
Here is Rader. He's back to pass. He runs it again. Another designed run here, and he makes it past that initial line of scrimmage, down past the 15, inside the red zone. First down and 10. It will be at the 14-yard line.
And this looks like it's actually a run-pass option. He's going to glance up there, and he just sees it yet again. They win up front. Need to start calling out some of these big guys up front for the Jaguars who are just dominating right now. That one really was led by Connor Powell. He's the one who kind of broke that one open, and now into the red zone. Up 7-0, looking for more.
Rader back to pass. He steps up in the pocket. There is a flag. He's brought down, got the pass off, and it's incomplete, but that flag looks like it will be in the area of holding, so we could see it coming back here for the Jags.
Yeah, pretty clear hold. You see it right here. As it could be really on 2 guys. I'm not sure who's going to get it. It could either be on, well, I jinxed him. It could either be on Connor Powell or the running back right there, because both of them really held. So I'm not sure. We don't get the number call from the field, so we don't know who is actually getting whistled for it.
It will be 1st and 20 now here for the Jaguars offense.
And I'm not sure has the ball gone back far enough? There we go. Okay.
Yeah,
I think they put it at the 22
there was
at
some
first.
Confusion.
So
here is Rader. He's going to keep it himself rather. Fake the handoff to Stone. Takes it himself up the middle for a short gain. Called a gain of 2, maybe a gain of 3. Make it 2nd and 17 here for the Jaguars offense. That was a late keeper there. Those are dangerous.
And that was a quick response by Sharwan Daniels again, because he is looking at the running back, and he has to very quickly adapt, cut inside, and does just enough to throw the quarterback off his feet. That's big to not give up too many yards when you have him in a very long situation.
Rader hands it off on the end around. He cuts it back upfield, but that is a good tackle. Stayed home and made the tackle. Did number 22 on the outside, Jamal Whitman.
Yeah, Whitman is not fooled by this at all. He immediately, you see him right there, he starts cutting as soon as he sees the play developing. He takes a step to the right even before he's given the guy the ball. So very quick response, brings up a 3rd and call it 16 yards from the 20-yard line. For the first time, the Mustangs have them in a very long situation where you're probably expecting a pass.
Rader with 4 out wide, spread out around to Miller in the backfield. Shifting on the defense by the Mustangs. And a timeout will be called by Midlothian Heritage, their first of the half.
Jaguars, it's their first timeout.
And that's probably a very good timeout just to discuss things over, kind of go through, maybe drop the play that you want to get. I imagine you're probably going to run one of those, again, I call them like the 3-stage routes, short, middle, long. If you got nothing, go short, see if you can pick up a first down. If you go mid, maybe you pick up 10, 12 yards, you're going for a fourth down, or you go long and you find the guy in the back of the end zone. So watch for that, especially when you have a quarterback that you know can roll out to either direction very quickly. And obviously your big message right here is just, hey, if we have to throw it out the back of the end zone, throw it out the back of the end zone. Don't make a mistake right here. Let's try to get a 2-possession lead here regardless of what else happens. See Rader with 56 yards passing and a rushing touchdown already. And then Miller, 46 yards rushing, but most of it all on one play.
On one carry, yeah, earlier on this drive. You see the total yardage between the Jaguars and the Mustangs. 146 total yards for Midlothian Heritage to just 54 for the Mustangs. And of course, a 7-0 difference with the Jaguars threatening here for more points. We'll see what they draw up here on third down.
Life showing some blitz, and now they'll drop off.
3rd and 15. Rader sends a man in motion. Fakes it to him. He's back to pass. Has forever to throw. Looking over to the sideline, and it's short, incomplete. So that'll bring up 4th down, and the kicking unit will come out.
And you can scan a field, and there was not a white jersey that had more than a yard of separation. That was some excellent, excellent secondary work. They kept the pressure on the quarterback, and there really just was not an option for him before he finally had to get rid of the ball.
A good pocket presence there, though, by Rader. Kind of shuffled to his left to get away from the pressure.
37-yard field goal now from the kicker.
Duggins on the kick. The hold is down. The kick is up. It looks good, and it is. And he puts the Jags up 10-0 off the foot of Calvin Duggins. Now they make it a 2-possession game here, almost halfway through the second quarter.
So the drive that started off inside their own 20-yard line goes far enough, but the Life defense, who we saw, you say bend, don't break. They bent a lot the last drive and then finally broke at the very end. There's just too many opportunities. Right there, a little bit of bend, don't break. You finally get a penalty to go your way, and that helps you make the stop. So now it's on this offense who had a scoring chance early in the game, and then it was across midfield on the last drive. Really one of the problems is they were going to those early runs back-to-back too many times. They just keep on putting Dramella in a situation where it's always 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. You might need to start dialing up some first down passes here. I know you're really counting on McCoy to try to pick up some big yards here and there, but it just hasn't been developing. This is not the same defense you saw last week. So put the ball in Gramella's hands, not on 3rd down where he has to make a pass. Give him the opportunity to pick up 8 or 9 on first down, then the entire playbook opens up.
And like you said, there's just been not really any room for McCoy to run. There you see he's run the ball 8 times to Gramella's just 5 passes and less than 2 yards a carry for McCoy. And it's not to take anything away from the skill set of McCoy. That's just how good the Jaguars defense has been tonight.
And in a way, again, I feel like you need to pick up those yards to open up the playbook for McCoy. Right now, the Jaguars, when they're defending 10 yards, they can spread out a lot quicker. They can get you a lot quicker. If you start throwing on first down, you're looking at a 2nd and 1, then McCoy's going to have more room to work with.
Here is Duggins on to kick. And he will kick it deep. Again, this one bounces and goes out of bounds, and it will be a free kick out of bounds penalty.
That was close. That was close to being a touchback,
yes,
but
it was
squeaked out of bounds just inside the 1-yard line. As we'll watch the replay here.
That is tough.
It's tough.
Close.
That's a judgment call from the ref.
Wow.
I think if it bounces over the goalpost, not the goalpost, the pylon. I believe it bounced over the pylon. It is actually a touchback.
Yes.
Honestly, it doesn't make that big of a difference, though, because in high school, it's only a 5-yard penalty.
Right. You're not getting the ball at the 40 or the 45. So
it's not quite the same degree of punishment that you see in the NFL or college. It's just a 5-yard penalty from the 25 to the 30. So
30-yard line here, 1st and 10 for Gramella in the shotgun with McCoy in the backfield, pistol formation. Five on the play clock. Gramella, like you said, back to pass here on 1st down. Steps up, tries to get it across middle, flicks the wrist, and it's brought in and caught past midfield is the Mustangs offense. Kendall Barnes.
And I love this from Gramella. He's going to take the pressure from behind, step up in the pocket, plant his feet, and just flicks that wrist, drops that ball in. That is an excellent throw from Gramella on 1st down, as we do have a Mustang down on the field now. That is number 70, Stephen Lipscomb.
So we'll have an injury timeout here for the Mustangs, but they will have a new set of downs past midfield into Jaguar territory.
We mentioned this about Gramella last week as we saw him. It felt like we watched him develop a season's worth of maturity in 4 quarters.
Yep.
And that was a downright veteran move. To have that pressure from behind, you're a half second away from starting your drive off with a sack that might kill the whole thing before it started. You step up, plant your foot. He was still surrounded. He didn't have a lot of free room. He flicks his wrist when he throws in such a nice way that just directs that ball exactly where it needs to go. And not a half bad adjustment either by the wide receiver, Kendall Barnes. Going to the ground and corralling that one. So a big 22-yard gain to start this drive. All 3 Mustang drives now have entered Midlothian Heritage territory. So you need to get some points out of this one.
Down 10-0. Like you said, there are some positives to take away here from this Mustangs offense. They have gotten into Jaguar territory. 1st and 10 here, past midfield. Gramella, back to pass, deep drop. He rolls out to his left, tries to get it to the sideline. It's broken up, almost intercepted. Was looking for Fuller, but it was broken up there by Greg Johnston.
And that turned into a jump ball between Fuller and Johnson. Johnson was not happy that he couldn't come away with it. Very dangerous. And then really almost intercepted by Antonio Pride Jr. He had a shot.
Tough to adjust to that, but it did go right through his arms. It'll be 2nd and 10 here for this Mustangs offense.
So I'd say when there was 2 defensive guys that had a chance to intercept it, you're happy with how that play turned out if you're
Absolutely,
live.
Yep. Here's Gramella with a bunch formation. Gramella back to pass. Swings it to the flat to his man McCoy. McCoy dances around and cuts it to the sideline, driven out of bounds after a gain of, we'll call it 4, make it 3rd and 6.
And that's where you see McCoy's open field ability. This looked like it could have been in danger for being thrown for a loss, but the ball is led pretty well. McCoy puts a little move, backs his man off, and is able to pick up, like you said, right around 4 or 5 yards on that one. Whereas at first I was in danger, I felt like, of being thrown for a loss. So now 3rd and 7, ball at the 44-yard line. Big conversion opportunity here.
I called it a gain of 3, so it'll be 3rd and 7. It looked like a gain of 4, but we'll see here. Third and mid here for Gramella. And a timeout by Coach Stanley as they were late in the play clock. Almost took a delay of game, and you do not want to do that on 3rd and 7, make it 3rd and 12.
Yeah, that is a pretty significant difference, especially when you look at the situation that you're in right now, the game situation. I don't know that you're not maybe approaching some 4-down territory if you pick up 2 or 3 right here. Maybe not if it's 4th and 6, 4th and 8, 4th and 10, but if you're down around the 40-yard line, if you pick up 4 or 5 yards right here, I think you got to be thinking about going for it. You're only down 10-0 right now, but you want to be able to get some points on the board to end this half and then get the ball to start the second half.
Coming out of the timeout, it will be 3rd and 6 for Colby Gramella in this offense. There you see Gramella 6 of 8 for 62 yards. Kendall Barnes, half the receptions from Gramella went to him. 3 catches for 42 yards, 14 a catch. And then McCoy still hasn't really gotten it going in that running game. They haven't run the ball yet here on this drive.
On this drive, it's been all in the hands of Gramella, and they've found some success thus far. And they have moved it officially to 3rd and 6 now, as, it is right at 6 yards, so a 4-yard gain for McCoy on that pitch and catch.
3rd and 7 Mustangs.
Carmelo will come out with 3 bunched out to his left.
Maybe look for the quick hitter to McCoy right here.
Gets a snap, and it is a quick hitter out to the outside, like you said. Tries to make a man miss, but is stood up and brought down by a tenacious Jaguars defense. They're led in the open field by number 4, Carter Wilkerson.
By the end of that play, there's 11 white jerseys there. It's almost a block in the back, and just too many. You had 2 guys really blocking 4 right there. And I mentioned it, and they are going to go for it, even though they lost a yard on the play. Looks like they are leaving Grimella on the field to go for it.
4th and 7 here for this Mustangs offense. We may see them try to draw the Jaguars off sides. We saw that a lot last week against Alvarado.
Play clock is under 8 seconds now, so they'll have to get it off quickly if they are going to actually snap it.
And it looks like he's lining up to pooch it, and he is. That's a pretty good-looking punt there by Grimella.
They can corral
and they get it down, and it stops on a dime. Wow. That's going to be down at the 3-yard line, and your quarterback coming out and laying down a good punt and backing up the Jaguars' offense to inside their own 5.
You never want to celebrate a punt too much, but that was very well executed. And then, of course, Gillespie, he's got the speed to go down and get it. Got close to stepping on that goal line.
Yes, it did.
But he made the turn just fast enough. And so they have pinned the Jaguars deep. Now a shot for the defense, who was so solid last week, forced 4 turnovers in the second half. Looking for a big play here, or at least hold them in their tracks to flip field position.
Here's Rader. He's going to hand it off to the big man. He goes up the middle as Miller, and he carries a pile with him.
Wow.
It looked like he was stopped for a gain of 3, but just kind of kept those feet turning.
Not much you can do there as a defense, because, you win your assignments. You get on him at the 5-yard line, and he's just going to carry you. Carries 3 different Mustangs for a 7-yard gain.
That is a tough carry by a big man in Miller. So it's going to be 2nd and short here for the Jaguars. Rader takes a snap. He's going to keep it himself. Takes it around the edge, and he had some room to run, but he's got enough for a Jaguars first down, and that moves the chains.
Yeah, this time the read option definitely works. You'll see the linebackers shift to the right as it happens, and then by the time they start recovering, it's too late. He's picked up 10 yards out to the 20-yard line. Now that the shadow of the end zone's gone, they can fully open their playbook again.
Rader hands it off to Miller. Miller spins off a tackle, but is brought down for a short gain there on first down, as we are under 4 minutes to play here in the first half.
Darius Fuller gets the tackle there. Haven't called his name a lot this week. We called it a whole lot last week on offense and defense. First real action he's seen right there, disrupting that run, bringing up a 2nd and 8 as we are down to 3.5 minutes to play in a very fast-moving first half thus far for these two teams.
Rader takes a snap, gets it outside real quick, but it is incomplete over the head of his intended receiver that time, Trevor Atwell.
We don't have heights on our chart here, but I don't think Atwell's tall enough for that one.
He's not quite pushing 6'5".
Sailed on the quarterback there, so a 3rd and 8, and here is the defense's shot. It's not a 3-and-out situation, but still you can get some good field position off of this with 3 minutes left in the half. And key enough, you don't let the Jaguars score on this drive if you can get this stop right here. You need to get a clean slate at some point if you're the defense.
Rader keeps it back pass, makes a man miss. Makes his Gillespie miss. He steps up and he's brought down.
Looks like there might have been a loose ball, and
Rader is down, and that is not what you want to see. He does get up on his own power, and it looks like he's going to be okay. But he was slow to get up. The ball did come out, but it was rolled down by contact.
Gillespie here is just about to demolish him on the blind side, able to recover just enough, and we'll see what happens here. And that is
he took a shot.
That is a hard shot from Darius Fuller. And he's probably lucky he didn't get flagged on that.
Here is Duggins. Duggins to punt for the first time today for the Jaguars. So Midlothian Heritage will get the ball back here, about 3 minutes left in the first half.
Clock has stopped. Probably shouldn't have.
Duggins gets it off. It bounces at the 50, and it's going to keep on rolling. A good roll there for the Jaguars. And it is downed right at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, punting from inside your own 20. You never know exactly what can happen. Goes off your foot wrong, and you have some bad field position, but that one was very well executed. They get the roll. And now with 2:54 remaining, it's up to Gramella and the Mustang offense, who, as we said, have crossed midfield on all 3 of their drives this half, have had a blocked field goal, and have had to punt it away the 2 other times. You need to get some points here in the final minute. Go for that double dip. Into the first half, start of the second. That's how you get back into this one. You're still in it. You're only down 10. You're still very much in this.
Could be huge for this Mustangs offense as they get set for this drive late here in the first half. They will empty the backfield. So no blockers back there with Gramella. He takes a snap. He's back to pass. He's going deep to his man McCoy. Underthrown. A battle for it. And it is incomplete. Good coverage there on the outside by Cullen Stone on an island against McCoy. And that one just underthrown there by Gramella.
This was designed to go there from the start. And a lot of hand fighting between the two players there.
That's clean.
Yeah, when you're jammed up like that, you're not running around anymore, and you're just both standing underneath the ball. That's when you got to be allowed to fight over it. And both guys were fighting over it, and probably a good decision by the refs there to not try to find somebody, to punish when both guys are doing the same thing.
It'll be 2nd and 10. Gramella hands it off to McCoy. McCoy gets brought down right at the line of scrimmage. He was looking to find a hole there, but a good job of that initial push by the Jaguars. You see here.
And it's going to be just around the waist again, as he's just going to get corralled and unable to ever get the momentum he needs. And it's going to go for no gain officially.
This is where you said we don't want to see, as a Mustang, you don't want to see Gramella in these 3rd and long situations. Yeah. It's tough as a young quarterback to come in and convert on these 3rd and 10 and longer situations. But here is Gramella. Looks back to get his play. 5 on the play clock. Has to get a snap off here. Just does get it off. Here's Gramella. We do have whistles. It looks like they called a timeout.
They did get a timeout in time.
Coach Stanley has his hands up. I don't think he was the one who called the timeout.
And I saw the one of the judges on the sideline. Yeah, they are going to give him the timeout. I saw one of the judges on the sideline raise their hands up right before the play started.
So that will be the 2nd charge timeout here for Life. And it could be fortunate because that play was not going anywhere.
No, yeah, it totally works out for him. That's one of those times we talked about how Gramella was going through his procedure pretty well last week. That's one that he actually missed, and he's getting it back now, luckily, because he went to Barnes over the middle, but Fuller was breaking wide open across the field to his left. If he'd have dropped it to Fuller, I bet you he'd got the first down. Luckily, it doesn't matter because the play wouldn't have happened anyway. So that's a good one to mentally learn real fast, because he went a little too quickly to Barnes on that play. So now it will be 3rd and 10 again.
Get in line before all the Bechtel burgers are sold out.
Under 2 minutes to play, and I just heard there's almost burgers sold out. So that's the real drama for the crowd here.
On a list of things you love to see, that is not on it. If you're a fan in the crowd.
2 minutes, 3rd and 10, down 10-0, needed some crucial points, and the burgers are almost sold out. I mean, you can cut the tension with a knife in this stadium right now.
We are getting ready for this 3rd and 10 opportunity for Gramella and this Mustangs offense. He will have 3 bunched out to his left and 1 in McCoy outside to his right, with Fuller in at the tight end position. So they are leaving Gramella there by himself in the backfield. Gramella back to pass. They bring 4 on a late blitz. He throws it up, and it's almost intercepted with one hand. A flag comes in late. There was some contact while the ball was in the air. We'll see what they decide to call this, but more often than not, that's going to be pass interference against the defense.
We'll see what it looks like. The offense is staying on the field as they will discuss this. That ball got well underthrown. Barnes had a step on his man, but the ball was underthrown and they had to defend it. Just keep being intercepted. And it will be pass interference.
Will be, yes. So that is a big first down for the Mustangs as we are under 2 minutes to play in the first half.
We'll watch here as he's going to unleash. And it's just a little too hard to see on this play.
Barnes was getting tugged.
Yeah, he's getting tugged, and that's one of those tough ones. It looks like they're going to call probably number 11, Derwin Sneed, for that pass interference. That's a tough one as a defender because the ball, you end up tugging him because he's trying to turn back towards where the ball went, and it was so over underthrown it might not have made a difference. But a big break for the Mustangs as they convert on the penalty.
Gramella hands it off to McCoy, tries to make a man miss, but that is a really good tackle on the edge, on the outside. Dayton Brown one-on-one with McCoy, and he gets the better of McCoy for a loss of 2.
Something I'm seeing about these Jaguars, they are just so good at wrapping up around the ankles and the waist. They must practice that all week long because they are ferocious on bringing you down that way. And they hand
it off to him again. He lowers the shoulder, spins off a tackle, and is fighting for yardage. And he gets out of bounds, so that will stop the clock. Oh, it looks like they're going to say he was inbounds when his momentum was stopped. So that's a good carry on second down. It makes it 3rd and mid here for this Mustangs offense.
He's finally going to break out of one of those ankle tackles, and that's where we finally see how he has that dual threat of being able to spin, hurdle, and lower the shoulder and drive. Another big 3rd down here for the Mustangs.
We're under a minute to play. Fakes the handoff. He's rolling out and has a man in the flat, and he's open. Kendall Barnes, can he get upfield? Tries to throw a stiff arm, but he's brought down, so it will be 4th down.
And that was an excellently drawn up route tree to leave Barnes that open over the middle, or really in that pocket to the right. And good job of dropping the ball in, but just not enough time for him to turn around. Tries to make the move.
They are keeping the offense on the field though. 4th and 1. They're going to call it a long one here. The Mustangs in Jaguar territory. They hand it off to McCoy. McCoy bounces it outside, cuts it back up inside. It looks like he's got enough for the first down, so that will move the chains, but there is less than 10 seconds to play. They take their last time out. Does life in the Mustangs, so they've got very little time here to try to draw something up, but they have no timeouts to work with at this point.
Yeah, and I understand the reasoning there. You really couldn't afford to call that play too early because you didn't want to give, if you didn't convert, you didn't want to go give Heritage 30 seconds to work with. So you had to let the clock run down a little bit to where if you failed, you didn't give them much to work with. So now you have time for probably one quick hitter. If you run an outside route, try to get the ball down to the pick up 10 yards, 29-yard line. Like we said, we saw Kennedy kick a 45-yarder last week. So
no wind either. There's no wind either way.
No wind at all tonight. So that would be...
It is a little bit colder tonight in Texas, so that ball is probably going to be a little bit harder coming off the foot. Doesn't feel great, but you don't get as much distance.
It probably makes just enough of a difference, I'd imagine, to where, I mean, you'd love to pick up 15 yards, or maybe, you've seen Gramella has an arm. Maybe you're just looking, going to the end zone. You have time for 2 shots if you want to take them.
Can he get it there? They have the ball down at the 39, so you have to imagine Gramella will probably be winding up for this throw if they do take a shot at the end zone from roughly the 47 maybe. So can he get the ball 47 yards downfield? But we'll see what they decide to do here on 1st and 10. No timeouts, 9 seconds left to go in the first half. Here's Gramella. He sends McCoy in motion. He takes the snap. He's rolling out to his right. And he lets it go down the sideline, and it's intercepted at the 20-yard line and taken off for the races. is the Jaguars. Can they get it there down the sideline? One man to beat, and he will. He's going to take it all the way for a touchdown, and that is not how you want to end the half. If you are the Mustangs, I don't see a flag on the field, and I don't see
There is. I think there is a flag at the 49-yard line. Hold up.
Oh, the referee is standing on top of the flag, so we'll see what it is. And this could be the difference between the half ending and a touchdown for the Jaguars. And this is a huge call here for the Mustangs.
Number 18, the Bills pass was intercepted, but there is a flag on play.
That could be game-saving. And it will.
And it will take the touchdown off the board.
And there's just so much going on a return like that.
The ball was intercepted by Greg Johnson. And the penalty on the return by the Jaguars.
We actually need to see, was it on the return or was it before? Because it was within the, it looks like they may be coming back out for one more play. So this penalty might have been before the interception.
Personal foul, roughing the passer
Wow.
on the defense. So after the release from Gramella, a roughing the passer. So they will have a shot here because as you know, the half wasn't over. Yeah, untimed down. I don't know if the half was over when the penalty happened, but either way.
We haven't been looking right here, so let's watch. He's going to unleash, and
if he gets taken down to the ground there,
hard to tell
I see it
from that angle. And
now it gives them yardage. 15 gives them enough room for a field goal. So we're going to see a 41-yard field goal here.
What a
from
turn
Hartman.
that would be to erase 7 points and get 3 of your own. Big kick here.
We know this is in Hartman's range, but we will get a timeout by the Jaguars here. So an untimed field goal attempt here for Kennedy Hartman after the roughing the passer penalty on an interception that went all the way back for a touchdown.
And that's the thing. We were looking for the block in the back, the hole, thinking the half was over because there was so much else going on. We hadn't looked around the 50 for a potential roughing the passer penalty. So either way, already a huge break for life, because if that's not what's called, there was no holding, no block in the back. That was a clean, probably 85-yard interception return for a touchdown.
This could be a 10-point swing for the Mustangs. If they hit this field goal, it went from 17-0 to 10-3 if they hit this field goal. So this is huge.
And even if they don't, you're still in the game. 17-0 going to the half, you're not feeling good about that, especially as back-breaking as that was about to feel, heaving that ball deep and watching that return happen.
Well, you said they needed to double dip here. If they get points here to end the half, they get the ball to start the second half, and you would like to see them, if you're a Mustang fan, go down and score. But here is Hartman for the 41-yard field goal to end the half. The kick is up, and it doesn't have enough leg, and it's brought in, and it is returnable for Stone. Stone brings it out of the end zone, but he's going to be wrapped up and brought down at the 5-yard line. And there we see what we talked about earlier. Maybe a little bit of cold makes that ball harder to kick than it may have been last week, where he hit a 45-yarder. Today, no wind. Tonight, no wind. A little bit colder. The ball may itself be harder to kick, and you don't get quite as much distance on it, but it will send us to halftime with the Mustangs down 10-0 to the Jaguars.
Yeah, I mean, not exactly what you wanted to see, but you're still in this game. Your defense made some stands. You only let Heritage have 3 possessions in that first half. That's how you stayed in this game. You missed 2 field goals. You had a blocked field goal and then missed one on the last play. If you get those back, like you said, you've crossed midfield all 4 drives. It's just a matter of finishing these drives off right now for the Mustangs. The defense has held up their end of the bargain thus far, and you're still in it. You're getting the ball first start second half. You're still in this one.
And we will have that second half coming your way between Midlothian Heritage and Waxahachie Life right here on the Champion Sports Network.
Waxahachie High Steppers. Your captain, Michaela Worley. First Lieutenant, Crystal Henderson. Second Lieutenant, Trinity Taylor Brown. High Stepper of the Week is also Trinity Taylor Brown. Ladies, are you ready?
Welcome to the field, the Live School Waxahachie Marching Band. The band will be performing their 2020 program titled Rise of the Phoenix. director of the band is Anthony Gaddy. The band is led by color guard captain Ashanti Hopkins, with drum majors Crystal Rodriguez, Maddie Doherty, and Molly DeWeese. Drum majors, is your band ready?
show. Like the actual game show. No, not the pregame show. The show we were doing then. In the class. She's like, what's wrong? They're like, and all of a sudden, I'm really kidding. He goes, well, you guys got to clean this up. And the little babies are like, oh, like, I dumped it to 7 men, and they're thinking it's actually going to kill us. going to convert some dollars to yen here in a second.
Welcome back to the Champion Sports Network as we are getting ready for half number 2 here in Waxahachie. There you see on our screen the first half statistics between both of these teams, and that tells the story of the 10-0 lead that the Jaguars currently hold over the Mustangs, and really just the total yardage, almost 100 more yards more than the Mustangs are the Jaguars. Both through the air and on the ground. Pretty even attack here for the Jaguars. Just really good, long, efficient drives in that first half.
Yeah, and really the Mustangs, you look at that, and you can sometimes kick yourself and be happy with where you are. I mean, you're getting doubled up on yardage. You had a touchdown called back because of a roughing the passer penalty at the end of the half, but you've also missed 2 field goals. And you've had every drive cross midfield and have no points to show for it. So you simultaneously know you're still in this game, but you also get that stat sheet and say, okay, if we have another half like that, obviously we're not coming back, but we're probably giving up more than 10 points too if we have a half like that. So they're very lucky to be where they are, while simultaneously a little unlucky. So it pretty much the scoreboard shows what kind of game it's been. And they will get the ball first.
Yeah, I was just about to say, because of the surprise onside kick at the beginning of the game by the Mustangs that was recovered, Waxahachie Life will get possession here to start the second half. And you talked about it in that first half. It's really just it's almost like a -1 possession that goes against the Jaguars because they did not get that first possession.
And so this is when you want to be able to capitalize on that. You were so close to capitalizing at the start of the game before you had the field goal blocked. And then you almost were able to pull off the double dip, as we call it, with the score at the end of the half and getting the ball to start the second. You weren't able to do either, so this is your last chance to really take advantage of what that onside kick gave you.
And the second half kickoff is on the way, and it will be deep fielded at the 9-yard line, and kind of hesitated, but he's going to go for it. He hesitated. He's got the kicker to beat. He's going to get it down the sideline. It's McCoy down past the 40, 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Mustangs! what looked like a pause in play. I think that the Jaguars are saying he called for a fair catch on the kickoff, but the referees are letting it stand, and that will be a touchdown for the Mustangs at the moment.
And the Jaguars are pleading their case as he was definitely trying to fake as though he had with the slow walk out. I did not see if he
did it.
I didn't see him actually call for it. He caught the ball and just sort of acted like he had called for it. So there you have it, a huge special teams play.
What a play on the kickoff. Some confusion here on the point after attempt. They're missing a lineman. He's got to get set real quick. There's 5 on the play clock. They do get it off. The hold is down. The kick is up. And it is no good, wide left. So it will be a 4-point game, 10-6, after the incredible play to start the second half on the fake fair catch, and he sold it brilliantly.
Yeah. This is just, you're not going to see it at the start of the screen at first. You see right there, he just catches it and just stands and does a little hop, and then he sees his gap and he's gone. I mean, at that point, what you've done is you've frozen everybody in their tracks. They have no momentum. They can't get back. One man here is almost able to get him, but McCoy stays on his feet and goes into the end zone. Unfortunately, the extra point is missed, so you've now left 7 points on the board with missed kicks. And I think part of that miss was you had the miscommunication on the line, so you had to rush it so quickly, but still a huge play to start off this half. You start off the first half, and immediately the Jaguars were calling for it. He said he called for a fair catch, and I don't think he did. I mean, he definitely looked like that was his plan. Catch it, slow walk out, give a little skip, and then take off once everybody else had frozen in place.
So we've seen the special teams kicking unit and return unit start both halves with unorthodox plays. That's a surprise onside in the first half, and then the fake fair catch here in the second.
Yeah, that's
incredible.
That 2 trick plays, they've both paid off. Only one has gotten you points, and like I said, you're right back in this game now, down 10-6.
Coming out to kick is Hartman.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And he pooches it. It will be fielded just shy of the 25-yard line, dancing around down on the sideline. He's got room to run. He gets it past the 40. That is Colin Stone.
They're going to mark him back at the 38, but yeah, everybody crashes to the left side of the field here. And for a second, it looked like they might return the favors. He had the sideline, and hanging on for dear life there is Ashton Hill, who's going to get credit with dragging him out of bounds, but decent field position now for the Jaguars coming out.
Dalen Rader comes out on offense, and it looks like they will line him up in the backfield with Colin Stone, who we saw split out wide for the majority of that first half. Little touch pass to his man in motion, cuts it back up, but it's tackled brilliantly in the backfield, that time by Kendrick Green.
We got a late flag coming in. And Colin Stone there is going to throw a good block, but the Mustangs are just fight through it. And it looked like this is probably going to be for some form of extracurriculars. You see the replay here. Yeah, Colin Stone's going to lay a good block, but just fighting through it for the tackle, Kendrick Green. He's fired up afterwards, and then didn't really see, as the referee, I don't know if he's making the call yet or no. Okay. Okay. Yeah, now we're getting the call. So offsetting personal fouls here at the end. We try to see. So it will be, again, Kendrick Green with a great tackle. And okay, yeah, just some, yeah, you see at the top of your screen there, just some extra shoving. A little bit extra shoving, and they will just offset those penalties.
The down will count. It will be 2nd and 10.
And that is what this defense has to do, win first down. Those first 2 drives, every first down, 7 yards, 8 yards, 9 yards, and then you just can't stop it that many times. On that last drive when they made their stop, and even when they helped them to the field goal, they stopped them on first down.
Hands it off the Stone around the edge, makes a man miss, lowers the shoulder down close to that first down marker. We'll see where they spot him. I don't know if he got the first down. It could be 3rd and short, and it looks like it will be.
Going to be just shy, 3rd and 2. He does get to the corner and just does a good job throwing a stiff arm. Hard hit out of bounds, and yeah, it will be 3rd and call it a long one. Marker's going to be
Trying to get the marker reset after getting run over on the sideline.
It's hard to tell, yeah. So
we're 3rd and 2.
Yeah, so full 3rd and 2. Defense showing a lot of aggressiveness on the line, and they
shifting. Raider keeps it himself. A brilliant job, and he is out in the open field, down past the 30. It's a foot race. Down at the 15-10, driven out of bounds, inside or right outside that 5-yard line, out at the 7, and Raider keeps the ball late on the read option.
This is a magic trick right there. That he pulled it out at the last second possible, and then he, like you said, he is off to the races and just barely kept from going into the end zone, thrown out of bounds at around the 7-yard line. Yeah, you just see Raider. I bit it for a second, and I'm up here.
He's going to keep it himself again, cuts it back up to the middle of the field, falls forward inside the 5. It will be 2nd and goal from about the 4-yard line, Tim. It's a run like that, it's easy to see how he averages over almost 8 yards a carry.
Oh, yeah, I mean, all you have to do is crank off a run of 40 like that. And good job of really containing the outside there, forcing him back to the middle.
Raider hands it off. Up the middle is Miller, falling forward into the end zone for a touchdown. They haven't given a signal yet, and it looks like it will stand as a touchdown. I didn't see an official signal on either one of the lines judges, but it looked like it will stand as a touchdown.
He must have just, because he must have gone in. It looked like I couldn't tell if his knee had gone down right there first, but yeah, his knee clearly stayed up.
Easy touchdown there for Latre Miller. So they answer right back. Do the Jaguars. Extra point is up, and it is good. And it will be 17-6 now. So after the fake fair catch to start the second half, the Jaguars get an offensive set of their own, and they march right down the field and score on the back of a long run from Raider and then the short touchdown from Latre Miller, and they push this lead right back out to 2 scores at 11.
And that's the first time we've seen the Heritage offense really just click that quickly. That drive took right about a minute. And we saw them even in the first half when they got their first touchdown, it was a bit of a slog. They had to convert a 4th down. They had to convert a 3rd down from the 1-yard line to get in the end zone. That time, once they started moving, they got stopped on the first play. Then once they started moving, it was straight down the field. And yeah, so after a first half where we go 24 minutes with 10 points, we get 13 points in the first minute and 13 in the second half. Maybe setting the stage for a little bit of a different feel, although life's always fun to do it on offense. I wouldn't try that fake fair catch again, by the way. I think you're going to get
I don't
creamed.
think they're going to fall for it.
I don't think the Jags will fall for that twice in a row.
So we'll see here. Here's the kickoff by Duggan, and he will kick it deep again. This time to the other side of the field. It's brought in by DeQuire. Tries to make a man miss, but he's brought down right at the 20-yard line. So that's where this Mustangs offense will take over, once again led by Colby Gramella, the freshman, the junior, Colby Gramella.
And another shoestring tackle. Mustangs just have not been able to shed those. Those are the ones usually you feel like if you can keep your footing, you can get through. But for the most part, the Jaguars have just found a way to keep pulling them down. Now 80 yards away from the end zone. It's incumbent now for the Mustangs to prove they can score on offense. Only points on special teams, although, as you mentioned, 7 points have also been lost on special teams. The blocked field goal, a missed field goal, and then the missed extra point. As a little discussion here, maybe just a talking to. They're bringing everybody in. Everyone's huddling around. The referee is
we did see the offsetting personal fouls that last drive by the Jaguars. So I think maybe this was set the tone.
Yeah, maybe he saw some stuff brewing, and thought he'd, just pull the chair out, give him a little Mr. Feeney talk about life, and see how things are going.
Here's Grimella back to pass, has a clean pocket, drives across the middle. It is incomplete, intended for Darius Fuller, was a bit behind him, tried to go up and get it with one hand, and just could not bring it in.
That was dangerous. That's one of those that Fuller pops that one up with his right hand, trying to go behind to get it. That can be intercepted. He's making the play, but yeah. A little bit of a dangerous throw behind right there.
Tim, we've been calling games for, I think, 4 years together, maybe 4 or 5 years. That's the first time you've thrown a Saved by the Bell reference.
That's Boy Meets World.
I'm sorry, Boy Meets World. I'm sorry. It goes deep across the middle. Almost intercepted at the 40-yard line.
Mr. Belding is Saved by the Bell.
Look,
Mr. Feeney is Boy Meets World.
I was a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air kid. I wasn't a Boy Meets World or Saved by the Bell kid.
Well, it could be an Uncle Phil talk as well.
There we go. I like that one.
All the same general character.
It's going to be 3rd and 10, and we talked in the first half here. These are the situations you want to have Grimella not face is 3rd and long here at 3rd and 10.
Although this one he's put on himself, 2 incomplete passes. Earlier in the game, it was because of some runs not finding traction. This is being because of 2 errant passes. Either way, not where you want to be.
Here's Grimella back to pass. Lofts it down the sideline and almost brought in by McCoy on the wheel route, but it will be incomplete. And that will bring up 4th and 10. There is no movement on the sideline yet, and there it is. They will bring on the punting unit. I was going to say, you cannot go for it on 4th and 10 from your own 20.
And that was a nice touch pass. He dropped it right into his hands, but standing there to break it up was Dayton Brown. Not a bad throw, threw it where the receiver had a chance and almost able to hang on to it. But broken up, and it is a 3 and out for the Mustangs. Their first 3 and out of the game, their first drive that will not cross midfield. So not what you wanted to see after you, actually it's tough. You get the big kickoff return, but now you're actually farther behind than you have been all day, and there's some danger.
Right in the face of the punter, and he's got it on the run as he falls forward and gets great field position here for his team. That was Greg Johnson. And if you're a punt returner, that's your dream. If you can field a punt running forward and get that full head of steam, you know you're going to get some yardage.
And that's just a low snap. Punter's trying to get away as fast as he can, especially with the pressure.
He almost lost it on the first hit.
He almost, but that was almost blocked. So not a bad job by the punter just to get it away. But now it will be the Jaguars taking over with their best field position of the night, holding their largest lead of the night after the defense has made a big stand on a 3 and out.
1st and 10, here is Rader. Fakes a handoff, gives it up the middle to Miller. Miller makes a man miss and falls forward for a gain of about 4 there on 1st down, making it 2nd and 6.
Just going straight up the gut again, and there's that initial hole. Good job by the Mustangs to quickly react, but when you have a hole that big, it's an automatic 4 yards right there, and that's kind of what the Jaguars are content with, because they know the big hit can come on any single run.
Here is Rader on 2nd and 6, sends a man in motion. He flings it out wide to his left, screen pass up past that 1st down marker, and that will move the chains for a 1st down here for the Jaguars.
A lot of scrambling players right there, so pretty much a good job by Carter Wilkinson to cut inside, bounce off, and hang on to the ball there at the end. Looked like that could have almost been punched out. And yeah, just enough for the 1st down to the 22-yard line. Definitely some gut check time right now for the defense. You do not want to find yourself down 3 scores.
That could effectively end this game.
It would make it very tough to battle back.
Here's Rader facing pressure. Cannot complete it over the middle, but he took a big hit there on the release.
Good coverage by Barnes over the middle, and yeah, solid hit on the quarterback. He took a big hit in the first half as well that had him leaving the field a little bit shaky, to the point that we might have briefly been worried. I did see his backup throwing the ball around for a minute after he left the field that way. 2nd and 10. Anytime you can win that 1st down is a good thing. Changes the playbook up a little bit.
2nd and 10, here is Rader in this offense. He's going to hand it off to Miller. Miller up the middle, falls forward. This is going to be another gain of about 4. Call it 3 there on 1st down. So we'll be 3rd and mid here, 3rd and 7. And this Mustangs defense, they desperately need a stop here.
A lot of motion here, and good patience there. very good patience by Jamal Whitman, who didn't over pursue the quarterback, didn't follow the end around, just kind of stayed, waiting to see what was going to happen. I think he knew, that's when you know I can't get the guy on the end around, so no point in chasing him. Might as well see if he's one of these other two guys.
Raider going to keep it himself, swinging out to the left in the flat, and he's tackled, but not before he gets past that first down marker for a new set of downs, and they are threatening on goal here.
Gillespie has been so close to making a big play on the pressure. He comes unchecked, almost bats that ball down, almost gets to the quarterback before he's able to get rid of it. Unable to, though, in a big third down conversion.
Still a shot at a first down here for the Jaguars. It's 1st and 10 from the 11, so they can eat up some time here inside the red zone. On offense, they send a man in motion. They snap it, and they're going to hand it off to Miller. Up the middle, has a big hole, carrying a man down to the 1 yard line, and it looks like he will have that first down. It will be 1st and goal from the 1 yard line, and they get up to the line quick. Looks like they're going to try to get a play off quickly here. Here's Raider, and they settle down here for a second. They did not give him the first down. It's 2nd and short, 2nd and inches. He gives it to Miller. Miller up the middle into the end zone for an easy touchdown. And the Jaguars here in the second half have blown this thing open as they will go up 23-6, barring an extra point to make it 24-6. And they are rolling here in the second half.
Yeah, and you see right there, you can see how good the blocking up front was, because you're looking at number 54 over the middle there, Jace Oliver. He's the guy that's supposed to crash inside and clear out anybody in the way. He crashes over there, and there was just nobody left. It was that good of blocking where he just sort of kind of fell down and offered a little bit of a delay as the extra point is up and good. Yeah, watch right here. He's going, and there's just no one to block. It's already a touchdown.
He's looking for something to do.
He goes in, it's like, well, I guess I'll kind of sort of throw myself in this guy's way just
get
in case.
In the way. Yep, that's all you can do.
And almost more get out of the running back's way. That's how well blocked that play was. And so, yeah, after the second half starts on a big kickoff return for a touchdown that had the life side of the field fired up. It is 2 straight touchdowns for the Jaguars, both on the ground. Of course, all 3 touchdowns have been on the ground tonight, and they have pushed this to an 18-point lead with just over 7.5 remaining in the third quarter.
As we prepare for the Jaguars kickoff here, if you would like to be featured on the Champion Sports Network social media feed, go ahead and give us a tweet at CSN_high school, or go ahead and talk into that live chat on the YouTube channel where we are currently broadcasting, and you will maybe see your tweet or comment featured on air here from Waxahachie and the Champion Sports Network as Duggins is on to kick, and he will kick it deep again. He's going to kick it to McCoy, and there we see a very clear fair catch by McCoy. He better watch out. He's facing some defenders there after the fair catch.
The defenders kind of thinking, you know what?
I promise I fair caught it, I think he's thinking.
Yeah, he's like, this time I really did, guys. I really, really did.
Kind of an over-exaggerated fair catch hand.
Yeah, after I kind of did the fake walk, I think I'd be throwing both hands up the rest of the night. Not wanting any special teamers to maybe say, you know, what's the worst that a 15-yard penalty would get me for
half the distance to the goal, maybe an ejection. So you never know. You never know.
The fair catch inside the 25 does bring it out. It's essentially the same thing as a touchback. You got 25. So now Grimella facing a situation he hasn't had to face yet. He's down big pressure check now for, as you mentioned, the young quarterback.
Grimella will hand it off to a new running back checking into the game for the first time tonight. For a solid gain, a 3 there on first down. It looks like Jamal Whitman is getting some carries out of the backfield.
Whitman on the carry, brought down by number 33, Gray. 2nd down.
A little bit of a different look, and they're back to this 3-back set that they had earlier on.
And McCoy is actually split out wide as a receiver. There's Whitman now, and he falls forward for another 3 yards, making it 3rd and about 4 here.
And this is what they were doing earlier. They're doing this exact same setup, just go heavy to the left side, try to open up some holes, but now they're trying a different back. Obviously, it wasn't working with McCoy earlier, so now they're trying with a new back, and it brings them to a 3rd and 4.
Number 21, Freeman.
Maybe more of a power back look because Whitman is listed as an inside linebacker, and maybe trying to hit that hole quickly and fall forward for more yardage rather than dance around and try to make a man miss.
Exactly. Not the night for finesse.
Here's Gramella. He's going to hand it off again. Here's Whitman. Whitman lowers a shoulder. Does he have enough? He's keeping his feet moving.
Wow.
And it looks like he will have enough for the first down, as he needed 4, and he picked up maybe 4.5 there on 3rd down. Good job. He was stopped short.
At the 37, he was wrapped up by 4 Jaguars and just kept powering forward up to the 41-yard line. So really, really big effort there from the new H-back end. Now they're not to the right side.
Mella hands it off. He's bouncing it to the outside as Whitman. Whitman lowers the shoulder and falls forward for a gain of, call it 2, making it 2nd and 8.
And it just feels like there's more than 11 Midlothian Heritage players out there sometimes. They just keep spreading. They just keep going to the right side of the field. You see right there, when you go that far, you just keep expecting to find some sort of hole, and there just never was one. We do have an injured Mustang.
And he was nursing it. It looks like a muscle cramp is McCoy. He was nursing it here in the second half earlier. I think that's a big reason as to why they pulled him out of the backfield.
Very possible.
Not able to maybe get 100% out of that leg.
Look, we missed something. The ball has been moved back.
I didn't see a penalty flag.
I didn't see a flag, and I never saw the ref actually come out and say anything. I'm sure he did.
It's going to be 1st and 20.
So doing the math, that's a holding. Yep.
Yeah.
So I never saw the flag come out, but I was looking at the injury. So there must have been a flag. Yeah, easiest explanation there is a holding call. Never great when you get a holding call and you only gain 2 yards to begin with. So that's when you're finding a little bit of traction on the ground, you definitely did not want to see a 10-yard penalty. Yeah, McCoy has now left the field. Does look like he's favoring that right leg, the left leg probably cramping.
Here's Gramella rolling out to his left, looking for a man, flings it to the sideline, incomplete, out of bounds. It will be 2nd and 20.
A little bit too much for Barnes. Barnes was there.
And another flag comes in around that line of scrimmage.
Got some hands up. I don't know why my eyes always go to the guy holding his hands up, but
ineligible receiver downfield that they're going to call here on the rollout.
Really?
Interesting. You don't see that called off.
No, definitely not on a play that kind of developed that quickly.
Take a look at it here. You look at the replay.
Try to see if
there's big number 54 is about 5 yards down the field. Penalty was declined, so it will be 2nd and 20.
Result of the play, an incomplete pass will stand second down Mustangs.
Sorry, it looks like it was 64 on the penalty. Andrew Woodward. The center was a little far downfield as Gramella rolled out.
And that feels, obviously, a lot of times, usually you see that call when the guy's trying to go lay a block on some sort of.
Number 18, Gramella's pass was complete. Then dropped and picked up again by number 8, Fuller. Stopped by number 21, Freeman. And number 19, Fry.
Going to happen when you get a 10-yard penalty like that. There was just nowhere else to go once he had that ball. just really can't set yourself back that far.
Right, yeah.
Especially against a defense that you've seen perform so well. A defense that is not on the scoreboard, but they are legitimately pitching a shutout right now.
Yes.
Because the only points have been on a kickoff return for a touchdown. So, yeah, even though you probably really want to go for it on 4th down here, you just really don't have the opportunity to when it's 4th and 14.
Here is Hartman on the punt, and again facing pressure. This time gets a high punt off. Johnson called for the fair catch, and it is brought in. And that is where the Jaguars will take over on offense.
Number 17.
Right at about that 36-yard line is where they're going to mark him as catching or receiving that fair catch.
36-yard line.
So an offense that just went down and put this game to 3 scores, leading by 18, gets the ball back again, almost at midfield. Pretty good field position here for the Jaguars, right at that 36. So you got to be thrilled here if you're a Jaguars.
Yeah, and they've just been really cruising in this second half. Obviously, the first drive was over 80 yards. The second drive, they only had to go around 34, but they have been cruising nonetheless. So again, big stand-up time for the Mustangs defense.
They hand it off up the middle. That is Stone. Stone hasn't been busy out of the backfield tonight. Instead has been targeted a bunch in the passing games, run a lot of routes as a receiver, and played some good defense. But here is Stone, one of the premier rushers for this Jaguars offense.
Good job of hanging on to the ball again. That looked like it was coming loose a couple of different times, almost stripped loose by Kendrick Green.
And it looks like the Jaguar offense is going to take a lot of these seconds down if they took their time getting that play call in. Here's Rader. He takes the snap. He's back to pass. Fakes it. Steps up in the pocket. He's looking to go deep. Has a man. Brings it in with one hand. What a catch down past the 30. A good throw, but an even better catch by Hayden Wigginton. Wow, what a catch.
Rolling out off his back foot. Perfect throw, and just one-handed pulling it in with 2 guys on him. Couldn't ask for much more from a quarterback to receiver connection.
He goes out wide, finds his man, he cuts it up the field, spins, keeps those feet moving. He's brought down after a good gain there on 1st down. That is Trevor Atwell, makes it 2nd and short.
So now they go to the air after they find the success on the deep pass, a quick sling out. And they are, after they slowed it down, now they're picking it up.
And a timeout here by the Mustangs as they have got to get it figured out on defense, as the Jaguars are threatening to score again, already up 3 scores and looking to make it more.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you know what situation you're in when it's 24-6. 31-6 would be borderline insurmountable at this point. Yeah, just fighting for those extra yards, taking on 3 Mustangs on his own.
What a catch by Wigginton. Wow,
yeah,
one-handed.
That was still such an impressive, as you see right here.
Don't take anything away. Steps up.
Not a bad, again, moving into the pocket off his back foot and just corralling it in.
And a perfect throw.
Yeah.
Stepping up in the pocket, off balance, didn't get his feet set, and the arm strength to get it down the field. That is why this kid, Dalen Rader, he's getting some looks to play at the next level, and you see it right there. Has the arm strength, has the pocket presence, and it doesn't hurt that he can rip off a 60-yard run really at any time.
And he throws a catchable ball. But what I mean by that is it comes down in a good way. It lands in your hands the way it should. It gets to you the way it should. It's got a nice spiral. It's not wobbling in. You're not having to do geometry in your head when the ball's coming in of where it's going to go and how it's going to land. You know it's coming right into your hand. You can put your right hand out there and know it's going to stick right in your palm if you do it right.
Well, here is Rader in this offense, setting up 2nd and short here. He takes a second to assess the defense, see if there's any movement going on. He's going to hand it off. Stone cuts it back up inside. Good patient running there by Stone. Does he have enough for the 1st down? It's going to be close. I think he's just short of the 1st down marker, so it'll be 3rd and inches here.
Jamal Whitman is going to be the one that comes up from behind to make the tackle, holding him just shy, but 3rd and inches.
Rader hands it off to Stone. Stone has running room up the middle, down past the 5, into the end zone for the touchdown. And the Jaguars once again have blown this wide open, and they will look to go up huge here. Like you said, looking to go up 31-6.
And Colin Stone, who had a quiet night, we talked about him in pregame, but he had a quiet night up until this drive, really. Right there, obviously, this is one of those times that you have to over-pursue. Everybody's packing the line, trying to make the stop on 3rd and inches. And so once he was through the first line of defense, there was nobody left. Walks into the end zone. Going to flag on the penalty for an offsides or an encroachment on the Mustangs, but they'll decline that automatically for the extra point.
So it will be 31-6. And Tim, starting the second half, it was a 10-0 ball game.
Yeah, the tenor of this game has changed quickly. Not only starting the second half with the 10-0, but 10 seconds into the second half, it was 10-6. And you said, wow, all of that hard work of the first half of the Mustangs has paid off. They're on the board. They're ready to go. And then Heritage has just found their stride over the last 9 minutes, really. 3 consecutive touchdowns. Don't have to mention it, but all on the run. Of course, you know they're going to be on the run.
Yep.
And so, like you said, they have very quickly turned a 10-6 defensive struggle into a 31-6 lead.
200 of the 316 total yards on the shoulders of Dalen Rader. There you see 111 yards through the air and 90 rushing yards plus that 1 rushing touchdown. Over 200 rushing yards on the night for the Jaguars, and it almost all of them have come here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they had plenty in the first half, but not like they have here in the second, because they have just found it. And then they've done it through the air too. They had 2 great passes on that drive.
It was looking to be a defensive game in that first half, but how wrong we were as Midlothian Heritage have blown the doors clean open as they set to kick off here. Calvin Duggins on to kick. And the kick is up, and it will be fair caught at the 10. They'll bring it out like a touchback. And that is where the Mustangs will take over, and they have done nothing on offense here the second half. They're 6 points coming off of a special teams touchdown on a kick return, and they are looking to get something going here to avoid going down even bigger, and they have not even gotten the ball close to even midfield here in the second half.
Like I said, the big thing about the first half was they were moving the chains. They got down the field several times. They had 2 field goals missed. They had 2 punts inside the 50-yard line. And this half, they've not been able to find any sort of traction thus far. They settled for a 3-and-out and a punt. Well, punts on both of them, but a straight 3-and-out the first time. Grimella.
Jaguars, they drop back on defense. Looks like they may bring 3. Grimella with 4 out wide.
Obviously, they know they have to go through the air for most of the rest of the game.
Bring one off the side. A overthrown ball there. Was looking for Fuller, and it just kind of sailed on him. Going to bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that looks like it just came off of his hands wrong. It was very quick, and nobody even in the vicinity, unless he was expecting the receiver to cut up the field a little quicker than he did. Hard to tell if that's miscommunication or just misplayed out of the hands of the quarterback.
2nd and 10 here for Grimella and this Mustangs offense. The Jaguars, they bring 5. And it's knocked down at the line. They were looking to get a screen going that time to Barnes, but a good job of that defensive line for the Jaguars to get the hands up and knock that down at the line.
Damian Alexander coming off the edge and does a really good job. That's tougher than it looks. When you see it all the time, you see it always seems to find a way to thread the needle. That is tougher than it looks to bat that down. So 2 straight incomplete passes. 3rd and long for the Mustangs.
Empty set here for Grimella. Deep drop. He's back. He's facing pressure. He just gets rid of it. And that could be intentional grounding. I'm not sure who is outside the tackle box, but I'm not sure how much it matters here on 3rd down. It will be 4th. And you got to think that Coach Stanley will come out and punt the ball here on 4th and 10, and he will bring on the punting unit. This Jaguars defense has been absolutely incredible here in the second half so far.
Heritage was definitely asking for intentional grounding. I think it probably was. I don't know even know if the ball got back to the line of scrimmage. I didn't see a receiver in the vicinity, but and now it looks like
they end up calling it.
Now they're going to mark it back. So I never actually saw a flag come out though.
I haven't seen an official even pick up a flag, so I think they just kind of conceded that it was
That
intentional
probably
grounding.
was. So they will march the ball back to around the 17-yard line. As yeah, that was pretty clearly intentional grounding.
4th and long here, and Hartman is on to punt. Has faced a heavy rush all night, and this is a low wobbler. It bounces about the 40. It's going to roll down past midfield. So the Mustangs have that going for them. They will at least have the Jaguars start in their own territory. Here up 31-6 is Midlothian Heritage, and they look to get 4 straight drives here with a touchdown or a score at least, as they have just dominated the second half.
And now you're starting to enter what I just call gut check territory for life. I mean, you look at the scoreboard, you start to do the math pretty quickly and see the way the evening's going, but it's about how you step up right here. It's about how you stop, the onslaught that you're facing, because you're facing a really good football team right now who has found their footing. And you feel happy with how the first half went, but now you really need to make a stand to prove that the first half wasn't just a total fluke. It wasn't just lucky bounces or making the occasional stop. You need to prove that you can win this half from here on out.
Rader, he hands it off and brought down in the backfield by big number 55, who we saw last week, had a fumble recovery, tried to run it back for a touchdown. Brent Arnold, the starting offensive lineman and defensive lineman.
Throwing a little bit of a wrestling move there, wrapping the legs around the leg. Anything you can to throw the running back for a loss, and that's going to be the biggest loss of the night with almost complete certainty for the Jaguars. A loss of, call it 6.5 on first down.
Rader comes out with Stone in the backfield, 4 out wide. Rader takes a snap, he's back to pass. He eludes the rush, he runs forward. He's going to get a lot of yardage here on second down, and he will have enough for the first down. That play just opened wide up for Rader. And the way the offensive linemen are running down the field, you almost got to think that it was intentional.
I don't know if it was completely intentional. I think they were just blocking. Your assignment is step up, block, and keep blocking for as long as you can. And they blocked their men all the way down the field, and by the time he had stayed alive in the pocket, you just see what an absolute threat he is. As soon as he saw a lane to his left, he took it and turns a 2nd and 17 into a first down. Leaving the field now is Jamal Whitman, who was down after the play, leaving under his own power. Always good to see. Ball down to the 40-yard line. Clock will wind. I guess we'll see if that was the last play of the third quarter or not.
He did get driven out of bounds, so it looks like.
So they're going to go. Yeah, I guess he didn't have his. Couldn't tell if his momentum was stopped at that point or not.
Clock not starting here. This will be 1st and 10 for the Jaguars offense. Rader hands it off up the middle. Miller, after a huge pancake block, but ends up being the first man to try to make the tackle. Good recovery there by Clinton Reese after getting laid out by an offensive lineman. Turns around and tries to start to make the tackle on the ground. But regardless, it will be a first down here for the Jags. You see a huge block up the middle. But Reese not giving up on the play, and that's what you like to see. They have a whistle here on first down, and it looks like another Mustangs player is down with what looks to be a muscle cramp. Seen that a couple of times tonight.
Usually you associate muscle cramps with warm, humid weather, and it's cool, crisp, almost no humidity tonight, but I guess when you've been doing this much running and this much fighting in the trenches against a heavy running offense like this, it's just going to wear you down over the process of 3 quarters.
It is down to about 55 degrees here in Waxahachie as we approach 9:45 Central Standard Time. So just like our phenomenal weatherman predicted, Mr. Kevin Crouch, it was going to get into the 50s, and he lives up to his legendary status here in Ellis County with the weather predictions.
all football should be played in the 50s. That's just perfect. I mean,
It is the definition of football weather.
50s or 27 and snowing. It's the only two that should be allowed. And I mean, I've been watching football in Texas my entire life, so I mean, I'm very used to 108-degree football. I know that that's all of September and half of October, as there will be a timeout charge to life over that. I guess they, trying to just slow down the tide, but I think that's their second of the half.
It is.
So.
Yep. They will have one timeout remaining.
As we reset here, it is 1st and 10, less than 20 seconds to play in a third quarter that, outside of one bit of trickery, has been completely dominated. 100% by the Midlothian Heritage Jaguars.
First and 10 here for the Jaguars. Raider takes the snap, hands it off to Miller, up the middle, makes a man miss. Does he have another touchdown? He will! LaTroy Miller right up the middle for a touchdown. LaTrey Miller, rather. And that, again, 4 straight touchdowns here in the second half. All on the ground. And this game is in danger of being 38-6.
Shedding 2 or 3 different tacklers. All started again on the line. There was a hole just big enough for him to get through. And he sheds off 2 decent tackle attempts. And so the dominance continues. It will be a 28-point quarter.
28 straight points here for the Jaguars.
Yeah, anytime you can drop 28 points in less than 11 minutes. You see the initial hole and shakes off 2 pretty good attempts into the end zone.
32-point lead here now for the Jaguars. So the Mustangs will have the ball here going into the fourth quarter to try to salvage something out of this matchup that has been absolutely dominated by Midlothian Heritage.
And I mean, just such an absolute switch being flipped after the Jaguars only had 3 drives total in the first half, 1 for a touchdown and 1 for a field goal, then finally the punt. They've now reeled off 4 drives in the third quarter alone, all touchdowns.
And like you said, all on the ground. So here's the kick. It is up, and it will hit the ground and go out of bounds, and that will draw a flag.
Number 29, Duggan's kick is out of bounds. The Mustangs will take over at their 30-yard line.
Probably time for one more play here in the third quarter before we head to the final frame. More gut check time on the way for Gramella and company. Have only had 1 first down in this quarter thus far. Again, after it didn't show up at all on the scoreboard in the first half, but they had some movement in the first half. They had some real positives that they've been unable to replicate here in the second.
Gramella hands it off to a new man in the backfield here for life. It is Kendrick Green getting some carries here late in this game, down big. We also see David Gonzalez on the field, as well as number 81, Kason Rogers, getting their first action of the evening. And that will do it for the first 3 quarters of play. Midlothian Heritage, the Jaguars, up big here on the Life Waxahachie Mustangs, 38-6, as the teams will switch sides and get ready for the fourth quarter here. Gotta think that the Mustangs want to salvage something tonight before they go on the road to face Stephenville next week. And you gotta think that Midlothian Heritage, at this point, they want to stay healthy because they've got a big matchup next week against La Vega.
That right there, that matchup next week is probably essentially going to go down as the I'm going to say it, as the district championship.
Yep.
Winner of that game is more than likely going to be your district champion this year. Both teams still undefeated in district. We can check La Vega's score at some point tonight, I'm certain, and see where they are. But that's going to, be big as far as you see. Life Waxahachie going to be trying to get that second win, get back to 500.
A hand up the middle. There was room for a second, but it was closed quickly. So that will bring up third down here for the Mustangs.
A little bit of a hole there. We haven't seen many holes at all for these running backs to get through tonight.
Kendrick Green on the carry. 3rd and 4 here for Gramella and the offense.
Like you said, you want to find some stuff to build on because you have some positives in the first half. I mean, the third quarter is going to be the defining one, but you really want to find some things to build on going into next week.
The carry keeps the feet moving, falls forward. It looks like he's going to be short, is Kendrick Green, of that first down marker. So it will be 4th and short here. And you got to think that they will probably go for this down so big.
Yep, I don't see him leaving. They're going to go back there, kind of have that heavy set, bring in a fullback with a running back essentially in the pistol formation.
They bring pressure, and they get there. It will be a turnover on downs as this Jaguars defense, it doesn't matter if it's a 10-0 game or a 38-6 game, the pursuit and the aggressiveness is all the same from this Jaguars defense.
Dayton Brown, we've called that name plenty of times tonight. He finds the gap, splits it, and once he had him one-on-one, he didn't stand a chance. So a turnover on downs. Yet again, unable to pick up that first down as the second half dominance just continues on both sides of the ball for the Jaguars.
And we have a new quarterback in the game for the Jaguars. It is Briley Green. He's back to throw, looking across the middle for his man, number 15. Number 18, Solomon Hopkins, could not bring it in.
Yeah, it feels like a fresh change on offense now for the Jaguars. As you mentioned earlier, with this game pretty much in hand, the only thing you don't want to see when you're gunning for a district title is any sort of injury.
Up the middle is Miller. He's still in here getting carries. Short gain there on first down.
And it's always a good thing to bring in your backup quarterback and let him get these in-game reps because you never know when you may need them for a drive or two or, a half.
Correction, Caleb Hall on the carry, his first of the evening, as Colin Stone checks back into the game.
Clock continues to salt away as we bring up third down. Defense looking to at least not give him a touchdown on this drive.
He hands it off to Stone, and Stone is met in the backfield, and they will drop him for a loss. And that will be 4th down here for the Jaguars.
Brent Arnold again in there. He's a big play guy. He finds a way to make those big plays, and there is a holding call on Midlothian Heritage. It will be declined. Yeah, there was the flag right there coming in. They will decline the penalty to bring up 4th down, and looks like Heritage will stay on the field and go for it. That maroon zone situation.
So make it 4th and about 9 here for the Jaguars, seemingly second team offense.
Waiting for the play call in, using the placards, which I always felt like would be harder to figure out what was going on as a player than just yelling.
Well, when you know what they are, it's not tough to figure out. We're looking for a deep ball down the sideline, but it's batted at the line, and that'll be a turnover on downs. So the Mustangs will take back over here on offense after the 4 and out, effectively here for the Jaguars.
Really good play there from Darius Fuller. Again, a guy who had a great week last week. Hasn't been able to get as much involved this week, but makes a nice play there. Going vertical, getting the hand up and batting that ball away. So Gramella will come back onto the field as they look for any sort of traction on offense to hang their hat on.
They look to bounce it outside of the green.
Ooh.
There was a little bit of room there, but it was stopped very quickly.
Number 6, Green on the
Yeah, and it's going to be, I believe, Greg Johnson who's going to come in here and just demolish him. Full head of steam and lays a helmet right into the hip.
That hurts. In cold weather, that hurts. That does not feel good. Second and call it 9. Here's Green, tries to bounce it to the outside, looking for some blockers, but he is upended on the outside after a pretty good carry there on second down. But a good tackle there in space by Carter Wilkerson.
That play just illustrates how good this Jaguars defense has been on spreading the field, because this is the most territory they've found, the closest they've gotten to breaking a corner on either edge, and it only picked up around 5 yards. That shows how good they have been on pursuing to both ends of the field to shut down this rushing attack.
3rd and 2 here now for the Mustangs. Gramella hands it off to Green. Green cuts it up the middle, trying to fight for that first down. It looks like they will give him enough. He spins off a tackle. He didn't go down. The momentum will have him, the forward progress will have him enough for a first down. So it will be a new set of downs here for the Mustangs.
Yep, to the 46-yard line, and kind of hanging on for dear life up front, as he didn't have it there, but he was able to spin around enough to, just kind of plant that foot, keep driving to get beyond the 45 as they approach midfield.
Gramella hands it off to Green. Green up the middle is met quickly by that defensive line of the Jaguars.
Looks like Scott Ellis was the first guy in there. Just sheds right off the center and lays the hit. This defensive line, has not allowed a big play up the middle. There's been a couple of nice pass plays, but other than that, they have just dominated in the trenches all night long.
Green is met again for no gain, so it will be 3rd and 9 here for the Mustangs.
Number 6, Green on the carry.
Yet again, just no room to operate. It almost looks like a barroom brawl in there. You've got guys turned every which way. You've got white jerseys turned backwards towards you. You got blue jerseys. But the ultimate moral of the story is there's not a hole to get through. And if you go to the edges, these DBs and linebackers are just doing a great job of pursuing and staying at home and making the play.
3rd and 9, Gramella takes a snap and hands it off to Green. Green looking for some room, but he's taken down. Another good tackle there on the edge, that time by Derwin Sneed. Wrapping those legs up of Green, just takes him down on the edge.
Keeps his eyes up and then lowers just in time. They are a lower attack defense. We've been seeing it all night, getting the waist, getting the ankles, getting the knees. Sometimes you see these guys who go up top, they hit you around the shoulders. That's where these guys are the strongest. So you see a lot of really good coaching. You're seeing hundreds of hours of practice out here on the field. They practice for this, you can tell.
And that is the difference between good teams, that separates good teams from bad teams here in high school football, is the ability to tackle. This Midlothian Heritage team is a phenomenal tackling team. Both low, they're wrapping up the legs. I can't think off the top of my head of one instance tonight where there's been a broken tackle.
Yeah, a couple of shed tackles, the occasional slipping loose or bouncing off of a guy. But no, especially last week with McCoy, we saw him breaking some great tackles. But it just has not been able to happen, and that is all credit to this Jaguar defense that has just been stout and fundamentally sound.
5:45 left to play here in the 4th quarter, with the Midlothian Heritage Jaguars leading comfortably 38-6 as they take over here. And They will hand it off, running up the middle, lowering the shoulder and falling forward for a good gain there on first down. That was number 22 out of the backfield, Caleb Hall.
Number 22, Hall.
And I want to
Physicality.
And you watch again, they just give a little player shout out to Jace Oliver. I mentioned him on the touchdown. He's that guy that's supposed to rotate over, go through the hole, and lead block. Right there, he's just leading the whole way, clearing the road for the running back.
Out into the flats, he finds his man for a first down. Reese Wunsch on the reception, the big tight end.
Number 10, Green. His pass was complete.
Play action, and I mean, as soon as it happened, it was set. As soon as that play developed, there was no stopping it. Easy first down, across midfield.
Pushed out of bounds by number 20, Robinson.
First and 10 here for the Jaguars. Coming up on 5 minutes left to play. And they will hand it off to Hall again, and he is a running back that seeks out punishment. He's looking for somebody to hit out of the backfield, lowering that shoulder and falling forward.
He's definitely a change of pace, because for the most part, the rest of these guys have been looking for the big play. He seems to be okay with 7 yards and hitting somebody. The rest of these guys are they're all thinking, okay, how can I make this go 35-40? He's like, I want to play some football.
It'll be 2nd and 3 here for the Jaguars. Slow snap, but they hand it off to Hall anyway. Hall up the middle, cuts it back, and he's brought down from behind, just shy of that 25-yard line. Mark him down at the 26.
Daniels again is going to be the one that has to save this. It's just a gaping hole. Jace Oliver, another great block. Nice move to pick up the extra yardage, as they have moved over 300 yards rushing tonight on that run. Just exactly the kind of game they wanted to execute, and they have done it to perfection here in the second half.
Hand it off to Hall again, and another big run here for the running game of the Jaguars. Shout out to those big boys out front. They have made this game very easy for this Midlothian Heritage offense here in the second half. Really have done a good job of dominating in the trenches and blowing this running game wide open.
Yeah, I mean, once you get to the second level, especially when you have a variety of runners, some who can hit hard, some who can make the moves, when you're in that second level, and really it's not even just the second level, as I mentioned, highlighting Oliver a second ago, they win that opening battle so well that they have a guy who goes to the second level and start laying down blocks. So it is a aggressive rush attack for these Jaguars. 2nd and short,
Hall up the middle, has close to enough yardage for the first down. Let's see if they give it to him. I think it might be 3rd and inches, and it will be 3rd and very short here for the Jaguars offense.
And we need to think of a better name for that play right there. The reverse play action, where you hand it off and then fake the throw. I've never heard an official name for that play, because
to me, anything that is trying to me, right up the middle by Hall. To me, anything, a draw play to me can be considered play action. Play action doesn't always have to mean you're faking the run for the pass. Because if you're faking the pass for the run, to me that's also play action, because you're acting out a play that's not actually happening. I don't know if you've ever thought about it that way.
You know, I can't say I have dug into the etymology of play action as closely as I should have before I just started throwing out terms like reverse play action. Either way, it's a nice run.
1st and goal here for the Jaguars. Read option, Hall up the middle, and he just seems to fall forward and seek out that contact. Another good run there on first down, as Hall has it inside the 5-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and goal from the 3.
Just continuing to pound away as we approach 2 minutes.
Here is Hall again. This time he stopped for no gain. That will bring us under 2 minutes to play here in Waxahachie. 3rd and goal. This will be about the same yardage. 3rd and goal from the 3.
Host of Mustangs getting in on that one.
It takes a host of Mustangs.
Yeah, it does. There's not going to be a one-on-one open field tackle, I don't believe. Clock continues to wind as we are under 2 minutes to play, approaching the end of this one. Only thing to watch is whether the scoreboard changes one more time.
They hand it off to Hall.
Right.
Hall tries to back. Oh, no, he keeps it, rather. That was a late keeper by the quarterback, Riley Green. My goodness, Hall was almost tackled by the time he took the ball away.
I think that was actually a little bit of maybe a discussion over who was going to get the ball, because that went on for quite a while. That was a very it almost really looked like he was giving it to him and then realized at the last minute, oh, you're going to get tackled. Give it back. That might have actually exchanged hands once or twice, it felt like.
And we see a switch of kickers here. It will be Wesley Nelson on to kick for the Jaguars.
We have a whistle before the play.
The extra point was kicked and it was good. I think they're going to call offsides. I don't know. There's going to be a discussion here.
I thought the whistle might have come before.
It'll be offsides. Yep, decline.
Okay, so it probably shouldn't have been a whistle. So it is up and good. 35 points in the second half for the no.
They declined it.
He motioned decline, but they had blown the whistle. So they declined it. They declined the penalty, but the play didn't happen.
So the extra point pending here. Nelson's kick is up, and it is good. It will be 45-6 now as a 39-point lead for the Jaguars.
You look at Miller there, 119 yards, 9.2 yards a carry, 326 as a team for the Jaguars. Dalen Rader, of course, 111 yards passing and plenty of yards rushing as well, as they have hung 35 points here in the second half. All 6 touchdowns tonight have come on the ground for the Jaguars. Recap, if you're joining us late, this game was just 10-0 at the half, and it was 10-6 seconds in to the second half, as the opening kickoff was returned by Datrian McCoy for a touchdown. But from that moment on, the tide turned, and it has been all Midlothian Heritage Jaguars, as they are now just getting ready to kick this one away to salt it away on defense.
And we are looking at a pooch kick and a fair catch called for and brought in, and just for extra measures took the knee because you don't want to risk anything after the fake fair catch and to start the second half. Fair catch and a knee, that kind of signifies that he's down.
Yeah. Well, we will be back here on the schedule. October 30th is the current scheduled game, and we mentioned that. You never 100% know, but we do plan on being back here with the Champion Sports Network on October 30th for the final game of the year for the Waxahachie Life Mustangs, and we hope to see you then.
There you see the schedule for the Mustangs. That will be against Brownwood. After the game tonight against the Jaguars of Midlothian Heritage, they will go on the road next week to Stephenville. And then, of course, like you mentioned, the week after, Brownwood. Hoping all is well. You never know in the climate that we live in nowadays if there will be a game, but we're planning on it. We're planning on being here to call that game on the 30th against Brownwood to close out the season and close out the home schedule for the Mustangs. Should be a good one.
And for Waxahachie Life, even though you're falling to 1-2 in district now, you look at those last 2 games and you say those are 2 very winnable games. You still have a shot to go back out there, recover from this game right here, and get to a winning record on the season. You see Stephenville sitting at 1-1 in district right now, 3-4 overall. So you look at that, you say you got your win over Alvarado. You have a shot to go get these 2 last wins, even after a rough night tonight, and maybe come up third here in District 6 behind Heritage and La Vega, who we playing next week.
That is the big title. That is the big one next week. Midlothian Heritage and La Vega.
That is a title match.
Huge game next week. as we are ready to hit triple zeros here in Waxahachie. That will be it. Midlothian Heritage, the Jaguars, drive about 20 minutes down 287 to visit Waxahachie, the Life School Mustangs, and they take a 45-6 victory away from these Mustangs on a dominating victory on the ground by these Jaguars.
Yeah, it was, again, a tale of two halves. It was a close one all through the first, and then once the second began, they just flipped the switch in that locker room. They came out with an amazing game plan and get a big conference or district win to stay undefeated here in District 6.
That is going to do it for us tonight on the Champion Sports Network. We wanted to thank our sponsor, Southwestern Assemblies of God University, for tonight's stream. For my broadcast partner, Tim Roberts, I am Adam Ferguson. Thank you once again for tuning in and watching the Champion Sports Network.